This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network.
This is how it's always been. I'm on the outside looking in.
Welcome to Double Love, the podcast in which we explore the strange and terrifying world of Sweet Valley High, book by book. I'm Anna Carey.
I'm Karen Moynihan.
And we are back with a super thriller.
I'm so excited.
It's been a while.
It really has. Also, I feel like we should note that we are doing these super thrillers completely out of order.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even know there was an order.
Look at entirely arseways. There's all these references to the book, like to the first book in the super thrillers in this one that I think we're just going to skip because it doesn't really have any relevance to the plot in this one.
Yeah. There's just references to Adam, who I do remember.
He's been around this whole summer where I think they've been.
Yeah, sort of staying with the Wakefields or staying with Stephen or whatever the hell he's doing. But he pops up and yes, there were references to his book, which I like. He feels familiar, but again, I thought we had done all the books in this series apart from this one, but maybe we haven't.
No, the first one is Double Jeopardy, and then this one, and then all the other ones that we've done. So we really have done them completely backwards.
Oh well.
But that's just the way it goes sometimes.
I mean, they probably make just as much sense. So yes, this week we are doing On the Run. The title, in retrospect, quite spoilery.
Actually, yeah, that's very true. This book is so funny though. It's so dumb.
Oh my God, it's one of the stupidest ones we've ever done in our lives.
I'm so excited to talk about the ending.
It's so ridiculous. Well, there's many things.
The wheels come off in such spectacular fashion. I'm so excited. But we will get there.
Mr. Beckwith should be locked up.
The Beckwiths are back there in force.
They have lost their minds.
Oh my God. This is so good.
Well, we'll start, as is our wont, with tagline and blurb. Can you share the tagline, please?
I certainly can. It is simply a shadowy past.
Well, I don't know how deep those shadows are. And this is the blurb.
Mm-hmm.
After a chilling encounter with murder in the book that we have no knowledge of.
Have yet to cover.
Jessica and Elizabeth Wakefield are now ready for a calm summer in Sweet Valley. What the fuck? When is it calm in this place? Never.
Come on.
Until Eric Hankman appears. Like Elizabeth, Eric is a quiet, sensitive writer. And the two of them immediately become friends. That's not all. Because the out of sight, out of mind rule still applies.
Sure does.
But Jessica's not convinced that Eric is as perfect as he seems. Her suspicions are aroused when her new friend, Darcy Kamen, she's a piece of work, thinks she recognises Eric as a boy from her hometown who has a mysterious past. That is not what happens.
No, that is not it at all. I love how wrong that is.
Jessica knows Elizabeth won't believe a word of Darcy's story without evidence. That's not the only thing that they had mishandled this, because they seem to believe that you cannot report somebody to the police unless you have incontrovertible proof of their guilt that will stand up in a court of law.
Yeah.
But by the time she has all the proof she needs, it may be too late to save her sister. This makes it sound a lot more exciting than it is.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of this book where nothing happens and then all of a sudden it picks up, and it is wonderful.
Read On the Run, the second Sweet Valley High super thriller. Wow.
We will.
Sure, we did.
We did.
So this is from 1988, which I feel is still prime Sweet Valley era.
100%. I actually looked up to see like where it kind of falls in the actual regular series, and it's kind of family secrets, slam book fever, hard choices. It's like in around the 40s of the classic Golden Age circle cover. Love it. Love to see it.
Well, it's the classic Jeffrey era. So we furwell Ranger Jeff. He's been let out of the cupboard for
temporarily, and immediately shipped off to a summer camp in San Francisco.
Yep. Well, now we describe the blurb. Can you describe the cover? Now, I'm going to say it is a classic James Matthews portrait, but it is not as evocative as it could be, I feel.
No, that's true. But I think I'm just so happy to see a classic cover. I kind of don't mind that there isn't a huge amount going on, because I do love the super thriller covers that they've incorporated a magnifying glass into the circle format. I'm just such a big fan of that. I love it. So we have a classic twin portrait from James Matthews. Like, the twins look gorgeous. It's just so nice to see their little faces again.
Yeah. Oh,
it's lovely. So it's Jess and Liz. Like, again, it's not a very exciting cover, but it is just like a lovely Wakefield portrait. So
yes.
Jessica is holding on to Liz's arm like she's trying to drag her out of this situation that they're in. They're both in the silkiest, shiniest blouses. God. It's wonderful. I can't remember which of our commenters it was that said it, but basically it's that thing of like, we are being slippery, ladies. We are hard to catch. A predator cannot grab your arm if you are simply sliding out of his grasp. So stay slippery in those silks. Liz has her classic barrette holding back her
yeah, she does.
Oh, it's lovely. Like, her blouse is so fussy and silly for like a 16-year-old to be wearing. Like, it's so silky. The sleeves have a kind of a poofiness to them that I really enjoy. We've got lavaliers in play. Like, it's all the classic hits. It's Sweet Valley Bingo, and I love it.
Oh, same. Oh, I do feel very nostalgic seeing this.
Same. There's a big grey kind of office block behind them, which I guess is meant to be the...
That's more like a prism.
It's
like tiny little windows. That is not
tiny.
That is not a midtown office building.
Yeah, because it sounds like a big shiny glass corporate building that the newspaper is housed in, but this is more like kind of a grim grey block with
Soviet apartment.
It's unclear what building this is actually supposed to be, but I mean, the only building of note really is the office. But anyway, but who cares? The twins are there. They look great. They've got their lovely hair all floofy and shiny shirts on. So what more could you really ask for, in fairness, you know?
Absolutely nothing. That's all I'll say. Well, we begin this book. It's in a July morning. It's Monday. And we learn that, like Garfield and Bob Geldof, Jessica just hates Mondays.
She really does.
She can't understand why she's working all summer, and if it wasn't for Liz, she'd be in Carmel with Lila. And because they're doing the internship. It is again inexplicable why Jessica is doing this. There's like a line about how Ned and Alice thought she should do something productive with her summer, but like it still makes no sense. She could have worked in the sets or something.
Honestly, like a clothes shop would make working in the mall would make perfect sense for Jessica. But for some reason, she's interning in the Sweet Valley News. She has no interest in being there. But I guess they just keep it spicy enough with all the murders in these, these books. I mean, maybe they find a satisfactory explanation for it in Double Jeopardy. Maybe we'll know in a year's time when we cover when it's the last ever super thriller that we talk about.
Fingers crossed.
Until then, it still makes no sense that Jessica is working here, but we're just kind of establishing that, yes, the twins are interns. They're in the Sweet Valley News for the summer, and that's their day job now.
It is. So we get a twin comparison on page 2, which is very early on in the game, well, in comparison to recent times. We also find out what Jessica wears for work, which is absolutely unhinged.
Fantastic.
We'll discuss this later. So, we're reminded also she briefly had a crush on Seth Miller, the reporter who turned out to be a successful detective writer. So I do remember that part. Remember they thought that that was how he paid for his sports car, was because he was like a criminal?
Right. Yes, that was in the phone conversation one.
Yes.
On Murder on the Line, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, how is this? Because it's open in this book that he writes thrillers, but if this is the second book in the series, I don't know what the timeline is. Anyway, I doubt the ghostwriters did either.
A fool's errand trying to pin down timelines in these books.
Anyway, she had a crush on him, even though he's just straight out of journalism school, which means he must be at least 22. And,
oh my God.
Luckily, there was absolutely no sign of him ever reciprocating any weird feelings. And in fact, he is actively avoiding her.
Very much so. Yeah, but also Jessica's over whatever this was. Maybe, again, it was something from the first book. But look, it's all good. Jessica's sights are elsewhere for crushes, it seems.
Yes. Well, Liz likes being in the heart of the media storm, especially with the nation's favourite court case at the moment, which is the Frank DeLuca trial.
Yeah, it's all anybody's talking about. It has taken America by storm, it seems. Everyone is fascinated with this trial that's going on at the minute. He's this mob boss, Frank DeLuca. He's up on a murder charge. Oh no, he's on trial.
Loads of charges.
For murder and racketeering in New York. And yeah, basically every newspaper in the country is just filled with accounts of the trial and how difficult the prosecution are finding it to find any witnesses to testify against him.
Yes, because I think the main point of the trial is that he was caught at the scene of a murder of a guy called Ray Underwood, who had tried to sort of turn against him and go clean, but there's no evidence against DeLuca. So it's just it's like they all know he did it, but they can't prove it.
They can't prove it. Yes. And it's the case of the summer. Everyone's talking about it.
Yes. And any hopes, by the way, of getting a Greenback-esque OTG, they're going to be crushed. I had high hopes. I was disappointed.
I feel like we meet some guys who could. I think we can put an OTG voice on them, and I think that would be acceptable.
Yeah, but not as much as
not
as we have
overtly,
in the past.
though. Yeah, that's true.
So Liz hopes that somebody will be brave enough to testify against DeLuca because that would bring him down. Mm-hmm. So in the office, everybody's arguing over the outcome of the trial. Reporter Dan is convinced that nobody will, stand up against DeLuca and he won't be convicted. But Seth thinks he will. And then they're all introduced to new intern Darcy Kamen.
Yes, she's joining the paper as an intern for the rest of the summer. She's just moved there from Ohio. She's immediately tossing her hair around the place. So I feel like that gives you a good idea as to her vibe. She like the first thing she says is like her father knows the man who owns the paper, so he arranged for her to come in and help out. She's like, I love newspapers. I think this office is so exciting. So of course Liz is straight away like, oh, I'll be happy to show you around, and let me know if there's any way I can help. And Darcy's like, I'm sure I won't need much help. I learn very quickly. So straight away she is extremely dismissive of Liz, which again I always find hilarious.
I also do, but Darcy is so disproportionately rude. She just comes across as an absolute lunatic.
This is the thing. It took me a little while to warm to her because I always enjoy someone being mean to Liz, but this felt unearned. It was like, no, you have to put in a bit of work first.
Yeah. So she says, when she realizes they're talking about the DeLuca trial, she's like, my dad thinks that, he's going to go free because nobody will stand up against him. And basically they have this big... they have this argument about, whether anybody will do the right thing. And Seth is like, I guess I have a higher opinion of people than you do. And Liz is like, I agree with Seth, she says passionately. I think most citizens are amazingly brave. But Darcy thinks that nobody does anything unless they can get something out of it for themselves. And she and reporter Dan basically laugh at Liz. And Liz feels awful. And she can't understand why Darcy's being such a bitch to her. And to be honest, neither can I.
Oh yeah, straight enough. Like this is fair enough because Darcy straight out the gate is incredibly mean and dismissive of Liz. But yeah, it's also like Dan is kind of team cynic and Seth is kind of team optimist in terms of this trial. So they're kind of just on either side of this argument as well, the two girls.
So later, Jessica invites Liz to lunch in the coffee shop downstairs with herself and Darcy. But Liz is not enthusiastic because Darcy is still being pretty rude. Like Liz is trying to make up for the fact that, they got off on the wrong foot, but Darcy just rebuffs her. And every time she tries to start a conversation, Darcy just walks away.
Yeah. It's so out of proportion. And for some reason, Jessica keeps insisting that Liz needs to give Darcy a chance and that she's actually great. But surely Jessica can see her literally walking away from Liz when she's trying to talk to her. So I don't know why Jessica is so set on Liz also being friends with Darcy. That didn't really make sense to me.
Oh, well, there's a lot of this book that doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, that's, you know what, that's true. We'd be here all day if we were picking out everything that didn't make sense.
So, Jessica's like, oh, you only like boring people like Enid and Jeffrey, which is, of course, the first reminder that we are in the Jeffrey era. Mm-hmm. And we learn again that he's off in summer camp being a counsellor. Ranger Jeff.
Good for you, Jeffrey. You know what? He's better off in San Francisco. Good for him.
Oh, don't come home.
There's nothing waiting for you here, Jeffrey.
You're going to lose all your friends as soon as this bitch dumps you. So just, run while you can.
It's true.
So eventually Liz gives in and goes to lunch with them. But on the way out, Darcy is like, oh, newspapers are so boring. Can't believe Daddy said I should get a job here for the summer. And this is completely contradicting what she said when she was trying to suck up to the rest of the staff. But Darcy says she'd prefer to be working on working in a clothes shop. And Jessica looks enraptured when she hears this and says, "Oh, you like clothes too?" Who could have foreseen that a teenage girl would be into clothes?
Yeah, she's super excited. She wants to introduce her to Lila because she's got the most amazing new fashions from Europe. And she's like, we'll go shopping together. It'll be amazing. Darcy's thrilled by all this. She's like, oh my God, I'm so glad Daddy forced me into working at the news. Otherwise, I'd never have met you and I wouldn't know the first thing about this town. So Jessica is delighted that she's going to get to show Darcy around Sweet Valley and that they've obviously hit it off so well.
And Liz is trying to be nice, but Darcy just is bitchy and cold to her the entire time.
Yep.
So even when they pay for lunch, Darcy turns to Liz with a mean little flash in her eyes and says, "Thanks for the lunch, crusader," she said coldly. It's like, okay, Darcy, rein it in. Where the fuck's this coming from?
So unnecessary. And this is a callback because I think Dan did a jokey little line to Liz earlier calling her a crusader because she was kind of being optimistic about the DeLuca trial. So now Darcy's just throwing it in her face and being really spiteful for absolutely no reason.
Well, we cut to the casa where the Wakefields are having a Mexican feast and Alice performs diet culture for her children because she's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have a second taco." Just a second taco.
I'm sorry, tacos are tiny.
You're meant to have at least 4. She's like, "I really shouldn't, but this food is so good." And Stephen is like, "Mom, you can't weigh an ounce more than the twins do. You could pass for a model." And Adam, his friend, is like, "I agree with that, Adam. That is wildly inappropriate."
Adam wants to ride Alice Wakefield. That is my only takeaway from Adam in this book so far.
And Alice blushes like, "Oh my God, Alice, you're a woman in your 40s.
Get a grip."
Yeah. Also, that kid is 18. Jesus. So Liz complains about Darcy and how she parrots her dad's opinions.
Yeah.
And Ned is like, "Well, this is a bit unlike you to take against somebody, Liz. And maybe Darcy is right about the trial." But Liz is outraged by this.
Yeah, she still thinks that someone is going to come forward and testify for this thing. She's like, maybe I am too idealistic, but still, I believe in people. And Adam says that he's on Liz's side. He kind of mentions stuff from the first book. Like, I don't care about this. But Ned then is like, but this guy DeLuca, he's an unusually powerful figure. And this, the murder of Ray Underwood, who was supposed to testify against him, it's left, it's really captured the public imagination. Ned really thinks that no one who knows anything will have the guts to come forward, which is quite a reasonable thing to say about this trial. But Liz keeps acting like this is huge injustice on behalf of everybody in the world. And it's like, come on, Liz, why should someone almost die by coming forward? But anyway, that's it's another row about this basically at the table.
And we learned that unless somebody comes forward in the next 48 hours, because that's when the trial will end, Frank DeLuca would certainly go free.
Oh my goodness.
So Jeffrey rings and Liz is all happy. We learned that until now the phone has been taken up because Darcy called Jessica twice this evening, which is a lot for someone you've just met, even for teenage girls, when we did spend all our time on the phone.
That's true.
2 calls from somebody you met yesterday.
It seems like overkill, but there you go. But she's delighted to hear from Jeffrey. She wants to hear all about how he's getting on at the summer camp. He's been teaching, I guess, his charges how to canoe.
Yep.
But he just says he really misses Liz and he can't wait to come back and see her. It's only 3 weeks away now. So Liz says that she misses him too, but she's kind of filling him in about the office stuff as well and how Darcy's a pain in the hole, basically.
But she's still happy to hear Jeffrey's voice sort of soothes her nerves, and they do the whole you hang up pretty much at the end. So they have an agreement they'll talk twice a week, and obviously they're writing to each other as well. And Liz thinks once again how lucky she and Jeffrey were. She doesn't know what she'd do without him, and she knows he feels the same way. Oh, I think you'd find ways to keep yourself occupied, Liz.
I think we know what she'd do without him.
It's what she's doing when she's technically with him is still pretty bad.
Very true.
So Jessica barges in. She can't believe that Liz is being so boring. She wants her to go to the beach disco with her and Darcy. But Liz just wants a quiet night home. And, she's kind of glad to have a bit of alone time. And Jessica's like, "Oh, alone time? Are you going to dump Jeffrey?" And it's quite sad when she finds out that Liz isn't.
Yeah, because she just wants her to come out and be single with her. And Liz is like, no, absolutely not. Like, of course, I'm not dumping Jeffrey. I just kind of fancy a bit of, time alone. And sometimes it's good for couples to have a little time apart. And it's like, well, she would say that. But Jessica's disappointed. She's like, look, if you change your mind about the beach disco, come and join us. Darcy's starting to think you don't like her. And I'm like, Jessica, are you blind? Like, Darcy's so overtly rude to Liz all the time. You need to be having this conversation with her about your sister.
Very much so. So Liz watches the news and we learn about a certain Dr. William Ryan who has come forward. By the way, just realised Caitlin's surname, recycling the names again.
Oh my God.
Jesus, Francine, come on.
There are 12 names. That's it.
At least one of them's Irish now.
That's true.
So, he's come forward to testify against Frank DeLuca. Yeah. And nobody knows what his evidence is going to be, but they know it's going to be delivered on Thursday at the last day of the trial. Yeah. So everybody is... his evidence is going to be revealed the next day, but Adam and Liz are delighted. They feel vindicated and everyone's all emotional, like humanity is saved.
Yeah. He's so brave and, everything is going to be okay. And Ned praises Liz and her faith in people. He's like, you're right to believe in people and I hope you never lose that quality. So, but then Liz is also thinking, God, like what must it be like to be brave enough to come forward like that, to go up against someone like Frank DeLuca. How is this going to play out for this guy? But she's just glad that someone has come forward because it's going to put Frank DeLuca behind bars where he belongs.
So the next day, everyone on the paper is gripped by the news. They're watching the trial on TV, or watching the report of the trial, on TV. And we learned that the evidence, it's quite convoluted. But it's basically, he contacted the police. Dr. Ryan contacted the police yesterday afternoon under heavy police protection. He treated the guy who was murdered because apparently he has diabetes. And over the course of Dr. Ryan treating Ray Underwood for diabetes, Ray Underwood told him all about his involvement in an international drug ring. And not only that, Underwood gave Dr. Ryan a letter, a signed letter.
Yes.
Saying, like, basically, Frank DeLuca is a criminal, and if anything happens to me, it was him. And Dr. Ryan has this letter and is revealing it to the trial.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the kind of, very convoluted evidence. It's a signed statement that this guy Underwood gave to his doctor the last time he met him. So it's like the conclusive evidence that they need to jail DeLuca.
Yes. So Seth is delighted by this news, as is Liz. But Dad is basically, look, that guy's going to get murdered in like 5 minutes. And,
100%.
And Liz is horrified. And Seth is like, look, he's going to enter something called the Government Witness Protection Plan. The government will, give him a new name and an identity. The mob won't be able to find him. And Darcy is just like, well, my father, said that something like this would happen at the last moment. And Liz is like, thought you said your father said DeLuca was definitely going to get off and nothing was going to happen. And this sets Darcy into a rage.
Oh my God, she's furious.
Her eyes flash.
She does a lot of that. Yeah, and Liz kind of realises that embarrassing Darcy in front of Seth and Dan wasn't a smart move. But like, she's really just pointing out shit that Darcy already said in front of everybody. So, but apparently this is enough to absolutely enrage Darcy and send her even more on the anti-Liz path.
So later, Jessica says that Liz should apologise to Darcy, but Liz is like, no, I'm not apologising to that mad bitch.
Yeah, she's right. Like.
But later on, she's more typically doormat Liz, not able to stand up for herself because she's working on a piece. And Darcy is like, oh, I'll just take that and give it to Dan. And Liz is like, well, I haven't finished subbing it yet. Like, but Darcy just snatches it out of her hands and Liz lets her carry it off and give it to Dan. But of course, she immediately points out all the errors from the paragraph that hasn't been subbed yet. And Dan somehow doesn't listen when Liz is like, I haven't finished subbing it. She literally just grabbed it out of my hands. So
yeah, it's really weird because Dan is just like, Darcy's right, Liz. There's corrections that need to be made in this last paragraph, even though Liz was just saying, I wasn't finished proofreading it yet. And I also feel like this probably happened in front of Dan.
Yes!
Like, how did he miss Darcy snatching a page out of someone's hand? That's something that draws attention. But anyway, it makes Liz look like a fool in front of Dan. So it's a win for Darcy, basically.
Yes.
Even though Liz confronted her right after. And it's like, that wasn't fair. You know, I wasn't done proofreading yet. Like, why would you do that? And Darcy's just like, oh, you just have to be more careful, Liz. You know, this is an office and we're all doing our very best, and just flounces off.
So when Liz tells Jessica what happened, Jessica just has no sympathy. She just says, I told you to apologise. Darcy isn't the sort of girl you want to start messing with. Yeah, 'cause she's an absolute psychopath.
She really is. But also, like, I feel like Darcy was going to do shit like this anyway to Liz. So this kind of comment about her dad made no odds. This was what was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, Liz rightly refuses to apologise.
Yeah.
So at 5:00, these hardworking journalists just clock off. And like, much as I appreciate people, you know, not having presenteeism, 5 is very early to stop working as a newspaper journalist.
It did feel that way. Yeah. But look, they're done
for them.
They're out of here. They're heading to the press club, which is like a diner on a nearby corner that they all go to regularly.
Yeah. They're going there after work, and Liz feels her spirits rise because, you know, she shouldn't let Darcy get to her. But then Darcy says that she was, I loved this bit. Darcy reveals she was an editor, not the editor, at her school paper back in Ohio. And then she hilariously says, Liz, of course, Darcy added, raising her eyes and staring straight at Elizabeth with feigned sincerity. Liz here is a totally different experience. Isn't it true you write the gossip column for your paper, Liz?
Like, this is so funny. Like, Darcy is a psychopath, but she absolutely got Liz's ass here.
Because it's true. It's true.
Like,
we've said this before.
There's nothing Liz can say about this, but she's fuming because she's just like, she realizes Jessica must have told Darcy about the eyes and ears column, because that's of course what it is at this point in the series. Yeah. But you know, it's like, not that Liz was ashamed about writing that column for the Oracle. You know, she always had a lot of fun with it and made sure no one got hurt. But she also didn't ever kind of emphasize that to Dan or Seth, because, you know, she really looks up to them because they're proper working journalists, and now it makes her seem kind of juvenile and silly writing like a gossip column, because Dan is like, really? You don't seem like someone who'd work on gossip, Liz. She's like trying to defend it. And of course, when you're explaining, you're losing. So she's like, no, it's a special feature. And it's, you know, it's really good. And she kind of tries to explain what it is, but she's all flustered because of course she would be. So Darcy is absolutely loving this.
It's so good. It's the one bit where I am on Team Darcy, because like, it is fucking ridiculous when Liz is like, I'm a serious journalist. And now it's like, is Ken M seeing Terry, whatever Terry's surname was?
Terry A.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Terry Adams. Like Jerry Adams. Remember?
So yeah, Liz feels humiliated, and she wishes that Darcy had never left Ohio. So the next day, the twins are driving into work, and there's a report on the trial, and they've reached a decision.
Oh my God, just before midnight, the jury found DeLuca guilty on all counts of murder and racketeering. So sentencing will take place in a few weeks. They reckon he'll get a life sentence with no parole, and there's further charges to come to do with all his drug ring carry on. So Liz is like, my God. And just 2 days ago, it looked like he was going to go free. So she's really excited to get to work now and talk about it with Seth, who of course was also team optimist with Liz.
Yes. So we cut to a week later, and we learn that Darcy is still making Liz miserable by making her look bad in front of the rest of the staff. And like, she's just it's really bitchy stuff. Like it's completely uncalled for, to be honest. Yeah. But Jessica's like, I think you and Darcy just got off on the wrong foot. She's one of the nicest girls I've met in a long time. Where is this coming from, Jessica?
It's so bizarre because Darcy is so obviously like setting Liz up for failure and like ratting her out for absolutely nothing, all just to make her look bad in the office. And it's wild that Jessica is somehow not seeing all of this.
Especially as like, it's a small open plan office. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think that, you know, that Darcy is hiding her behaviour very well. So, when they're back in the office, Dan asks Darcy to get him some coffee and reminds her that she likes it. He likes it black with no sugar. And of course, Darcy sees this as an opportunity to make trouble and asks Liz to get pick up the order. Yeah. But when Elizabeth says, how does Dan take his coffee? Darcy's like, cream and sugar, and runs off giggling.
Play it cool, Darcy. Because she literally runs away giggling. Like, it's so funny. But like, it's not like she's particularly sneaky. So it's like, how can everyone in not see exactly what this girl is like? But okay, sure. So yeah, so Liz heads down. There's a coffee shop on the ground or on the first floor of the building that the newspaper office is in. So she tips on down there to queue up for Dan's coffee.
And she watches the boy behind the counter, who is unusually handsome and very appealing. He's tall with thick dark hair and hazel eyes. I'm just going to say, if you like men who are tall with the thick dark hair and hazel eyes, have I got a book for you? And it's called Our Song.
Would you look at that?
It's available now, everybody. I'm going to say that in many ways, he is more attractive than some people that Liz has gone out with.
Yeah, to a point, yes.
To a point, yes. Apart from his mercurial moods. But in fairness, who can blame him for them?
I guess.
Just going to say. Because they start chatting, and it turns out that his name is Eric Hankman, and he's just, what a name. And he's just moved from Ohio, and he asks if she could show him around. They say, oh, well, maybe we can meet after work sometime. And when Liz heads back to the office, she, of course, finds out she's got the wrong order and realizes that Darcy set her up. But it's an excuse to return to Eric.
Yeah, so she's not too upset about it. So when she heads back down, Eric is like, oh, wow, I guess those reporters really do get through their coffees. So she kind of confesses that she's gotten on the bad side of an intern who sent her down kind of as a prank. But they get chatting, and then he ends up telling her that he was the editor of the literary magazine at his school, because he had something like this happen where one of the writers, turned against him. So she's like, oh my God, you're a writer? So of course they chat about writing, and she reveals that she writes stories. He writes poetry, apparently.
Yes. He says, which made me like him, because he's sort of a bit embarrassed. And he says, like, I write poetry, not a very macho occupation, you've got to admit. And I do have to say that somebody who's like tall and hot saying that is quite appealing. Because it's kind of self-deprecating. He's not like Luke, like, I'm a poet.
Aren't I interesting?
Yeah.
And a werewolf. But yeah, Liz is weak for boy poets. Like, she just is. I feel like whatever he was going to say was going to be fine as far as she was concerned.
I mean, so would I have been when I was a teenager. I'm just saying, as somebody who was like 14 when Dead Poet Society came out, it's just like borderline pornography for a certain sort of teenage girl at the turn of these hot poetry reading boys. She apparently he's such a good poet that he is his first poem can be getting a journal next fall, which is pretty fancy. And within a few minutes they're talking like old friends about creative writing, and they're kind of joking around. And Eric says, it's been a long time since he's felt so relaxed that a shadow crosses his face. And Liz is like, is something wrong? And then he gets all tense.
Yeah, his voice goes really harsh. And for a split second, Elizabeth thought there was something frightening about his expression. But he kind of snaps out of this weird kind of mood and then just says, oh, we better not forget this coffee. This time it's on me. So he hands her over Dan's new coffee. So Liz walks away. She's enraptured. She's like, he is so nice. And he's a poet. So it totally makes up for her being, made a show of by Darcy because, now she's gotten to meet Eric. So she doesn't really care about that anymore.
Yeah, she thinks Darcy did her a favour. So the next day, Darcy starts raving about this hunk in the coffee shop whose name is Eric Hankman, and you're not going to believe it. She's from Ohio, just like me. And Jessica's like, oh, I haven't seen him, have you? And Liz is like, yeah, I met him when I got Dan's coffee order twice.
Yeah, and Darcy just brushes the comment aside and not interested in getting into it because she's on one now that she's found Eric. So she's like, oh, isn't he fabulous? She like throws herself down into the chair between like Jess and Liz and starts babbling about Eric and all that she's learned about him. So he's from Shaker Heights, which is a suburb in Cleveland, but she's from Toledo, so a different part of Ohio altogether. But one of her best friends moved to Cleveland last year, so she's going to call her to try and see if she knows anything about Eric. She wants to find out every single little thing about him. So she's like, oh my God, you guys, this is amazing. I'm so glad I'm working here now. And from now on, all coffee orders come straight to me. I'm going to spend as much time down in that coffee shop as possible. And Liz can't believe this because she's like, oh my God, does Eric like her? Because she's after getting all this information out of him. Like, what the hell? How could he possibly be interested in someone like Darcy? He's a poet after all.
Yeah. And then, amazingly, Darcy is like, ask me anything about him. Go on, ask me anything. I know everything about him. And it's absolutely unhinged because she's like, do you want to know what his star sign is? Well, he's a Taurus. His birthday's in May. He's 17, and lists all these things about Tauruses, and then says, "Go on, ask me anything else."
So of course, Jessica plays along and she's like, all right, well, what's he actually like? You know, he can't have much money if he's working in a coffee shop.
He's a teenager in the summer. Like, what are you talking about? He's not a millionaire.
This is the thing. Like, Jessica, you're working this summer. But she's like, so does he have a car? Does he play a sport? Is he a good dancer? But Darcy is a bit taken aback by this because clearly she hasn't gotten that far with her interrogation of him. But she's like, oh, you know, he doesn't care about money. He's too sensitive for that sort of thing. He's a poet. I can just imagine what it'll be like when he writes poems about me. So of course Liz is like, oh, fuck this, I'm out of here. She can't listen to another second of this.
I just love that Jessica's questions are the questions that would never cross my mind as a teenager in a million zillion years to ask. Like, does he have a car? Don't give a shit. Also, he won't have a car. Does he play sport? I hope not. And is he a good dancer? I mean, fine, but like, I wasn't judging boys by their dancing ability and indie discos in the early
this is
90s.
true, but you see, you're not Jessica Wakefield down at the beach disco, spinning high kicks around the place and being thrown over Bruce Patman's head. So, you know, he's got to have a qualification in swing dancing if he wants to stand a chance with her.
Oh, that's true. How could I forget? Okay, I take it back.
It's a different ball game altogether over there.
Very much so. So Liz feels is kind of enraged, but also feels a bit weird about how upset she is. And Jessica decides she's going to go and check on Eric with Darcy.
Yes.
And then when she comes back, she's like, oh, Liz, like, does he have a crush on you or something? Because he looked heartbroken when I told him I was your twin sister and not you. And instead of being like, oh, yes, Liz is just sick of the subject of Eric Hankman.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, I barely spoke to him. You know, I really want to get this project done. So she just isn't interested in talking about him anymore. But I think it's more because she kind of wants to keep him to herself. She doesn't want to discuss him with Jess, and especially not Darcy. But Jessica's like, God, Darcy, like she was saying, you should see her. Wild horses couldn't drag her away from that coffee counter. So Liz is now kind of paranoid that Eric likes Darcy as much as Darcy likes him, but also is feeling weird about the whole thing. Because she's like, but I have a boyfriend.
When's that ever stopped you before?
Exactly.
So Liz feels weird all day and she stays late at work. Jessica goes off with the car. We're in the Fiat Spider era. And when she leaves work, she bumps into Eric outside and he's like, oh, I was hoping I'd see you. Like, just saw your sister leave, but would you like a lift home? So she accepts and they go when they're heading out in this elderly bagger. She asks if they drove the car out from Ohio and he says no, they had to sell his car. And his eyes cloud over and she starts asking him about Ohio, but he's clearly not eager to talk about it. And instead he asks if she's still up for giving him that tour of Sweet Valley. But of course she is, because showing people around Sweet Valley is her favourite thing.
Well, it's her favourite subject, so she's the expert to bring anyone around. So they arranged they're going to meet up tomorrow afternoon. He's going to bring her for dinner afterwards, as long as she doesn't mind driving around in this old boat, because it's this huge old car that he drives. Yeah. But Liz is like, yeah, that sounds amazing. So she does ask if he would bring some of his poetry tomorrow, and she'll bring us some of the stuff that she's written and they can swap and read each other's work. So he's like, yeah, that sounds great. And he seems really enthusiastic about this whole thing. He's like, you know, this is brilliant. I feel really lucky that I've met you, you know, because after moving, it felt like his whole life was disrupted and nothing would ever be the same again. So Liz asks why they moved. She's like, did your dad transfer? Because he'd mentioned before that his dad is a businessman. And again, this shadow crosses Eric's face and he's like, yes. And he's got real abrupt answers whenever she really asks him anything about Ohio or why he moved or anything about his past, basically. Because when she mentions, you know, maybe his friends will come visit him or he can go visit them back in Ohio. And he's like, no, that's not really how it is. You know, once you move and that's it. And I don't really want to think about it. I'm here now and that's what matters. So it's a little bit weird, but Liz is looking forward to meeting him the next day. And she's also kind of hoping Darcy won't find out about it because she just couldn't be fucking listening to her.
Yeah. He is a bit, as you say, he is very vague, but that doesn't bother her. But then that night Jeffrey rings her and his voice sounds husky and sad.
Oh, he's horny and sad.
Just having a sad little wank at the end of the car. No, Jeffrey. I'm sorry.
Hashtag poor Jeffrey.
Well, he's pleased that Liz, no, is pleased that Liz is like home on a Friday night and not dancing it up at the beach disco. Little do you know, Jeffrey, what she's
Jeffrey,
up to.
That's the least of your worries, her being out dancing.
He's actually getting like a bit jealous of the thought of, her being far away from him. As well you might, Jeffrey. I can't admonish you because you don't know the half of it.
This is the thing. It would sound like jealous behaviour from someone else, but like when it's Liz, he's well within his rights to be worried because she cannot be trusted. I'm trying to think though, at this point in the series, has she done much in the way of cheating?
I think there's been some summer specials or their trip to France where she was flirting with somebody.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, no, she's establishing the form at this point. Because by the point that we're at in the main series now, it's just like that girl cannot keep her pants on as soon as her boyfriend is gone.
Well, maybe this is the start of it.
Beginning of a pattern.
Yeah. She does tell Jeffrey that everything's fine and they'll talk next week, but she does feel a bit weird, but she tells herself she doesn't have any reason to feel guilty because Eric's just a new friend and she's doing the most natural thing in the world, showing him around Sweet Valley, but she isn't going to tell anybody about it.
No, it's totally fine. It's totally normal. Not going to tell anyone. Secret friendship. Everything's fine.
Speaking of things that are totally normal, she starts her tour of Sweet Valley the next day with Miller's fucking Point for the view.
She works so quickly, you have to hand it. So first things first. Let's get this out of the way.
This is Makeout Creek.
So funny. Oh my God. Now, I guess, it is established there is a great view of Sweet Valley from Miller's Point, but like that is also very much not the point of going there.
No.
So she shows him the view. He's like, wow, this is amazing. It's so beautiful. He's complimenting her as well. And he's like, it reminds me of your eyes when he sees the ocean. Oh. So she's all embarrassed. She's like, oh my God. But look at the mountains. Aren't they amazing? It's so great up here. So he kind of talks about how he'd love to just like take a boat out to sea and sail all the way across, days and days with just the water and no one else around. And Liz is kind of like, oh, wouldn't you get lonely? I think I'd sooner have some friends around. And again, this shadow crosses his face because it's just, the weirdest topics make him go all kind of shut down and abrupt with her. And he's like, who needs people? I think it would be much better to be alone, just me and the sea. And it's like, there's a muscle in his cheek is twitching. And she remembers when his mood went all weird and dark back at the coffee shop too. And she's like, okay, have I made him angry somehow? Like, what is going on here? Because he seems to be troubled by something. So she changes the subject and he's immediately all smiles again. So there's something weird about Eric.
Yes, there is. It's quite mercurial. What could he be hiding? Now, I'm just going to say I guessed what he was hiding pretty much straight away.
See, I had the benefit of being really dumb reading this. So I was thrilled and delighted by every twist and turn.
I'm not going to say anything now because it will spoil it for people, but I'm just saying.
Dummies like me who are having a long time.
Well, they end up at Second Lake and she reads his poetry and my God, it ends so sadly. Liz thought she might cry, as might I, but for different reasons.
Good God.
So while she's reading it, Eric is reading Liz's story, Futures, about a young girl working as a companion to elderly women and learning a great deal about courage and trust from the two elderly sisters. Oh, God.
I mean, do you know what? At least it's not a story about her great Sweet Valley.
Good point.
She's broadening her horizons, even just a tiny. I'm sure they're two sisters in Sweet Valley.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, my God. Is she writing the future like saga of her and Jessica?
That's a horror story for Jessica if she thinks she's still living in Sweet Valley with Liz and her with a companion.
Oh my God, just Grey Gardensing it up in there. Amazing.
Shit, actually. Wow, someone write that fanfic.
Right.
So yes, this is Eric's poem, Harvest. No sparrows alight here, the sheaves picked clean, and some are gone, with nothing left to stave off cold or hunger. That's it, I guess.
Yeah.
No, that's just the end.
Yes. I'm sure it was amazing. Liz is so impressed. She's like, my God, it's so desolate and lonesome. She reads a second poem that's about saying goodbye to a girl. And Liz is so moved by it. She feels it would be intrusive to even ask about who this girl is because she's so moved by all this poetry.
And the lines of the poetry that we see are, maybe to love is always to hurt deeply, and not just to hurt, but to destroy.
Oh,
knowing this awful farewell has been in store for us. It is kind of blank verse in a way. Yeah. So she's like, Eric, you're really talented. And he just says, thanks. And she likes the fact he didn't try to be falsely modest about his ability. Don't think it'd be false. And Liz waits patiently for him to finish her story. And of course, he loves it. But he wonders, are people really so noble in real life?
Well, yes. Liz is like, why? Why don't you think so? And he's like, I just, don't get me wrong, Liz, your story's beautifully written and you've done such a good job and you're such an amazing writer and my God, you're so talented. But he just doesn't think people are really that selfless. He just sees the world differently and thinks, as far as he's concerned, deep down, people just want to save themselves and don't really try to help each other that much. And Liz is just like, oh my God, she can't believe how disillusioned he sounds. And she's like, no, that's not true. Look at a community like Sweet Valley. Oh. She's off on one about how amazing Sweet Valley is. So she's really in her comfort zone at this point.
Yes, because she's like, this is a really special, caring place, Eric, apart from the fact I was kidnapped here and there's been multiple...
so many murders.
Even at this stage, there's been a murder, in the super thrillers.
This is the thing. And also, she's been kidnapped. Regina was kidnapped. These are all things that have happened at this point, I'm pretty sure.
No, they definitely have. Trisha Martin's on the wrong side of the tracks.
Oh my God. This is not some amazing town where everyone looks out for each other. This is a town full of fucking sharks. But yeah, as far as Liz is concerned, it's the best place in the world.
Yeah. I mean, her sister is shark number one. So
there you go.
Maybe that's why she's so blind.
Maybe.
But Erica says he doesn't think anywhere in any places like that. And he has fierce look in his eyes. And she's like, Eric, you sound so angry. And he apologizes and he shouldn't sound so bitter. But she's so sweet and he doesn't want to argue her out of her way of seeing the world and how lucky she is to believe in people. But he says that it's just been him and his dad for a few months since his parents separated. They've been through a lot together and maybe that's why he's so edgy. He's just expecting the worst. So basically she's like, well, the future is going to be better and whatever's happened to you in the past won't happen here. So she thinks, what a strange boy. He wrote such beautiful poetry and yet his very sensitivity seemed to make him hurt every time he looked at the world. So she basically thinks he's hot and weird and hopes she can restore his faith in humanity.
Oh, she can fix him.
Yep, healthy. Meanwhile, Jessica and Darcy are looking through the Sweet Valley yearbook so Darcy can perv on all the boys, even though she is going to Whitehead Academy when school starts.
That's right. Yeah. So Jessica's just filling her in on the hot guys in Sweet Valley, basically. So yeah, Darcy's having a look through. She picks out Aaron Dallas. But Jessica's like, yeah, he's cute. He's a jock, but he has a girlfriend. And she's like, anyway, I thought Eric Hankman was the only guy for you. And Darcy shrugs. She's like, Eric's cute and I like flirting with him. But, he's a little odd. And why limit yourself when you're in a new town? And reveals that apparently there's a new college intern coming to the paper next week. He's a sophomore at Stanford. He's coming to help Dan out in the office. So she's like, I wouldn't mind a Stanford man for myself.
Oh God.
So Jessica's like, oh, that sounds pretty good. But she's glad that her and Darcy see eye to eye on love because, of course, she fully agrees with not limiting yourself and that it's important to play the field. So she's really found a kindred spirit in Darcy here.
She really has, in fairness, because she's a bitch who
she's a huge bitch who's constantly chasing boys. See, Darcy is Jessica. This is the hilarious thing about this book.
She really is.
As always, when a character comes in and behaves exactly like Jessica, they're a villain.
Except Jessica loves her, which isn't always the case.
Does. She's just a villain to Liz. But yeah, as far as Jessica's concerned, she's just like, this girl is the fucking best.
Does make sense. Yeah. By the way, the intern she has her heart set on is called Andy Sullivan. And as the male lead of the book that I'm nearly finished writing is called Art Sullivan. Every time I saw it, I was like, there's a little revelation for you, readers. No. Every time I saw it, my brain would just go, oh, what? Hang on, what's that? But,
wait, what am I reading again?
Yeah. His name is Andy. My hero's name is Arthur. Yes, she's got her sights set on Andy Sullivan, who I sort of felt was going to play more of a bigger part, but he doesn't. Same. He just sort of pops up now and again.
Yeah, he's kind of a nothingy character. Doesn't really have that much to do. But yeah.
I tell you, Art Sullivan in my book is not a nothing character.
Good to know.
Well, the next day, Liz feels weird, as well she might, because we learned that after their day out in Sweet Valley, they went for pizza in Guido's, and Eric so clearly fancies her, and in fairness, she is giving him all the signals.
Yes, very true.
She's taking him around town, going to, Miller's Point.
I mean, the fact that she straight away went to Miller's Point with him, I mean, come on, girl.
She even says it's the makeout spot.
Yeah, so I don't know what she expected him to take from that. But also just the night before when Darcy is over with Jessica, she does ring her friend back in Cleveland.
Sorry, yes, of course she does. And she returns with a tale of murder.
Yeah, so she kind of gets sidetracked. Instead of talking about Eric, this girl is obviously filling her in on some other weird story that's happened. So yeah, apparently 2 weeks ago, a girl in the town next to her friend Sue was murdered. A girl who was their age. And Darcy's really upset by this. She's like, she was found in a vacant lot, strangled. Nobody has any idea who's done it. And Jessica's like, oh my God, this is horrible. So Jessica's like, God, I'm just glad this has happened far away in Ohio, because Jessica's a bit shook because in the previous book, she was caught up in a murder thing. So Darcy's like, God, it happened just before we moved here. This is so weird. But anyway, she's going to say, look, Sue was going to see, can she find out anything about Eric? She hadn't heard of him, but thought some of her sister's friends might know him. So Jessica's like, yeah, okay, cool. But kind of tries not to think about this horrible murder that she's just learned about now. And then they start talking about Andy. So that's kind of all that happens there. But it was just that, yeah.
No, it is crucial.
That a murder has happened back in Ohio, basically. Yeah.
Yes. We cut to the next day where Liz feels weird because, at the end of their date, she thought for a moment that things were going to get awkward and that Eric was going to kiss her, but then he just looks to her with a sincere expression and says that this was one of the nicest days he's had in a long time, and how much it means to be introduced to to this beautiful town. And she's like, thanks, Eric, I had fun. And he says, well, can I reciprocate? Can I take you to a movie some night after work? And she's like, why not? He is asking you out, Liz. Come on.
It's very obvious that's his angle here. So yeah, she's like, yeah, cool. So they decide they're going to go to the new James Bond movie that's showing downtown. So they arrange to get together. They're going to get a sandwich from the coffee shop and go to the 7:00 show. And Liz is like, yeah, amazing. So she's really taken with Eric. He's so intelligent, so sensitive. She thinks back to his beautiful poem and nearly starts to cry again because she's just so impressed by his talent as a poet. And then also thinks about the other poem about a girl that he had written about who he had to say goodbye to. And, she's like, why did love necessarily have to destroy? Something about the poem troubled her, but she couldn't put her finger on it.
Then Jessica bursts in jogging clothes and a Walkman like an 80s cliche and demands to know where Liz was last night. And Liz lies and says she was with Enid, which of course revolts Jessica, who just starts doing lunges and knee bends to warm up.
So good. She's just fully Jane Fonda mode at this point. It's great.
So she's like, want to come with me for my jog? And Liz is like, no thanks. I'm going to write to Jeffrey. And of course, Jessica can't believe anybody would want to do something so boring.
No.
We cut to Monday and Darcy has an elaborate scheme to woo Eric because, she hasn't given up on him, by the way, apart from, Andy Sullivan's still in the mix.
Sure.
But she wants to offer him some ticket to a Dodgers game, but she needs Jessica's help. And Jessica's like, why do you need my help? And really, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, Darcy thinks that he's so shy that he'll be put off if she's really upfront with him, that he might like her more if she's shy. So she wants Jessica to do the asking on her behalf. It's very messy. It doesn't go well.
No, it does not. Because when Jessica goes down, Eric's very nice and she is like, oh, you need some coffee for those caffeine freak reporters. And she's like, no, just an orange juice for Darcy. I tried to get her to stop and have a break, but she's such a hard worker. She's amazing. And then she does do her duty kind of awkwardly. And is like, oh, Darcy's dad drove us to work, saying she has an extra tickets to a ball game. And, one for Darcy, one for a friend. And she's dropping all those hints and eventually has to sort of make it clear. But Eric's like, oh, sorry, I'm going to the new James Bond film tonight. Does not say with whom. So Jessica returns back to Darcy to reveal all and worries that she'll go nuts. But Darcy is unimpressed.
She is. She's a bit angry, like her eyes narrow, and she's like, he doesn't like me, see if I care, and gets a bit cross about it. But in the meantime, they're in an elevator, I think, at this point, because she must have been lurking outside the coffee shop while this was happening. But literally, she's kind of grumpy about it. But then they get in the lift, and there's this other guy, and it turns out it's Andy Sullivan. He's tall and handsome, because of course he is. So her attention is completely over to Andy now. So she's like, yeah, whatever, who cares about her? This guy's here now.
She's like very easily distracted.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's in love.
Yeah.
So later, Eric and Liz go to the cinema, and they're on their way out, or no, they're going to the cinema. Yes. And Liz notices that somebody in a grey suit is following them, and like stops when they stop. You know, is just following. Like it's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
So Eric is clearly nervous, but they manage to shake off the follower, and Jessica or Liz realizes that Eric is so nervous that there's like sweat on his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's very nervy and awkward.
Yeah, he's clearly very affected by this. But even though they do lose the guy, they step into a deli, I think, and the guy walks past. So Liz is like, oh, I was just being paranoid. It's fine. Sorry about this. But yeah, but Eric is very clearly shaken by this.
Yeah.
And she's just like, why is he reacting like this? And Eric asks her, does anyone else know that we're here together tonight? And Liz realizes no, like she has deliberately kept this whole thing a secret from Jessica. She didn't want her twin to get the wrong idea. Like her and Eric were just friends, nothing more. Nothing says that like keeping it a big secret from your sister. But she's like, no, I haven't told anybody. And Eric's like, okay, let's keep this our secret. It'll make our friendship even more special if no one knows you're meeting me. Is that okay with you? And Liz is fully on board with this because she doesn't want Jess to know. Of course, like the obvious reasoning there is that Jessica will obviously tell Darcy, but she thinks Jessica will just tease her about it and she doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah. And Eric says it's more romantic this way. And then Liz is like, uh-oh, more romantic? Is that why I don't want anyone to know, including Jeffrey? It's like, yeah, dude, obviously.
Yeah. Also, she began to wonder if Eric wanted their friendship to turn into something more. Yes, this girl, he sort of chatted him up in a coffee shop and then asked him out on showed him around town.
Yeah.
And then went on a date with them. Yeah, maybe he does want it to turn into something more, because as far as he knows, she's single.
This is it. She has never once mentioned Jeffrey to him, or even like casually thrown out, oh, my boyfriend, whatever. Like just, she's giving him nothing to work off, in fairness to Eric, as far as he's concerned. They're dating.
Well, afterwards, he suggests they go for a walk on the beach because he loves being near the ocean. And she says it'll have to be a short walk, but he puts his arm around her and pulls her closer to him. And she just thinks it's so good to be close to him. Like she is giving off signals saying she wants to get off of them.
Yeah, she really is.
Her pulse is racing, and then after they walk for a while, she's like, oh, we should get your car, and she doesn't like the way she's feeling at all. It's like, what is wrong with her? She's in love with Jeffrey. Why does her pulse quicken when another guy touches her? So they drive to the beach, and she's kind of tormented, like, what is it about, what about the way it felt when Eric's hand brushed hers? Her lips burned, she imagined kissing him. So she is like really turned on and also guilty, which she's really
quite a combo. Yeah, her mind is in turmoil. She's really thrown by this. And, this is early on in her cheating career, I guess. We'll have to give her that. So it's, it's all a bit unfamiliar right at the second, but she's just like, oh God, what are these feelings? How can I possibly feel this way when I love Jeffrey so much?
Yes. So she asks about his poems, but she does realize that like talking about their poetry is the only way to sort of be a vehicle for their emotions. And, he says he has been writing poetry and then says, have you ever read any of Petrarch's poems? Now, I'm surprised that Liz hadn't heard of Petrarch because I feel he came up in like intercert history. But yeah, she hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, neither have I, so I can't really.
Okay, I think he was on the intercert history curriculum.
Okay.
Renaissance to Reformation.
Okay, I just have no memory of him coming up.
Yes, and he did write a lot of poems to somebody called Laura. If you want a book with a Laura in it, I've got one of those too.
Look how this is lining up. My goodness.
Always hustling.
But yeah, Eric says that, he explains about Petrarch to Liz and says that he's been writing love poems too. He looks straight at Elizabeth, his eyes very serious. And Liz is like, oh God, I don't know what to say. What should I do? Like, she kind of feels like there's this really delicate moment between them right now. She has to tell him about Jeffrey. She'd have to explain so many things, but before she says anything, she said when he started to speak again, she put her finger up against his lips and he kissed it.
He's like, there's so much I want to say to you, Liz. And he's like, she whispers, not now, not yet. I was like, Liz, you are dicking this boy around. Just stop.
Oh my God. Like, she really is like stringing him along here. It's not fair.
And we're told part of her wants to find out all she could about Eric Hankman, and the other part didn't care. She just wanted to stay with him there forever. On Tuesday, Darcy waits for Jessica to plot snaring poor old Andy Sullivan. That innocent young man has no idea who's scheming against him.
Poor Andy.
And she does worry that she looks too voluptuous.
Yeah, she's got this, what sounds like a really nice dress on, to be fair. But it's just a way of us knowing that Darcy's extremely hot.
Yeah, basically.
She has a pretty curvy figure, Jessica reckons, but she looks amazing. So Darcy's like, okay, wish me luck. So she's going to see if he wants coffee. So she heads off to try and sink her claws into to poor innocent Andy, who has no idea what's in for him here.
We do learn that the reason, because she sees Jessica or sees Liz and sort of blanks her, and we learn that her earnestness in the office just made it more difficult for Darcy to have some fun. That was why she pulled all those little tricks on her. Like, what?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense in terms of reasoning. It's like, you clearly pull these tricks on her because you hate her for some reason. But sure, okay. So yeah, she heads on down to the coffee shop and finds Eric. So the place is empty and he's writing in a notepad.
Yes. And he's clearly like, he's professional, but like he clearly has no interest in her. And she's like, ooh, Eric, I'm thinking about you. And he's like, oh, really? Okay. Like, why? Like, he looks at her with alarm, which I love.
That's so funny. Like, she is coming on very strong, and poor Eric, he is being kind of polite at this point, but he does look genuinely frightened at a certain point, which is hilarious.
So then a customer comes in and Eric is clearly grateful to escape from her and just like runs off to serve him. But when he's serving the customer, she starts opening his notebook.
So rude.
That's like on the counter, and Eric understandably spots her and grabs it off her and slaps don't. And then he's like, a bit embarrassed about his reaction. It's like, sorry, I'm just kind of private about this. It's my poetry. I feel funny about letting anyone read it. And she's like, what sort of poetry? Love poetry. And he blushes and is like, sort of. And he looks completely mortified. And then she's like, it's about me, isn't it?
Oh my God. Like, I love it. But like, the thing about Darcy, she's pure Jessica, because Jessica Wakefield would immediately assume someone's writing a love poem. It's obviously about her.
That's true. Then she rips a page out of it and scampers off.
Darcy, she is deranged. Like, literally tears the thing out of the notebook and scampers away with it. It's wild behavior.
If anyone ripped something out of my notebook and ran off with it, I would rugby tackle that bitch to get it back.
And beat them with said notebook. Like, yeah, it's crazy from Darcy. Eric is just stood there staring at her like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now?
And he's got to serve a customer, so he can't even pursue her.
No.
So we cut to the newspaper library, and she's like, I know you really meant to have this anyway, before she scampered off, and which is unhinged behaviour.
Oh, completely.
So she brags to the girls that, now that Andy and Eric are fighting over me. Never any indication that Andy has any interest, by the way.
Oh, none whatsoever. No. But she's just really bragging about this poem that she's found. She's so delighted with it. And like, Jessica is kind of like, why? I thought she was on for Andy and now she's back to Eric. Like, I love how Jessica's kind of confused by Darcy's behaviour when she is literally Jessica.
Yeah. Oh my God. So Liz, of course, is miserable. She can't, she loses her appetite, and but she does think, there's something a bit funny about him, because I guess he didn't declare his love to her there and then. So she can't wait to call her friend Sue back in Cleveland to see if she's got any more goss.
Yeah.
And Liz wants to see the poem because she doesn't put it past Darcy to completely make this up, but she recognises Eric's writing and she's distraught and essentially runs away crying.
Pretty much, yeah. She's really upset by this. Can't stand to look at Darcy and just wants to be alone.
So that evening, she's in a terrible state. She's avoided Eric all day. She leaves by a different exit, so she won't run into him, because she realises that the strength of her feelings means that she has feelings for Eric, which is true.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's back at the house, and Ned and Alice do actually notice she's in a bit of a state. And then Ned asks about Eric Hankman, because apparently he knows Mr. Hankman through work, and Mr. Hankman's son has been singing Liz's praises.
Yeah, but sure, yeah, apparently Mr. Hankman says Eric's been raving about her. He seems like a really nice guy from everything his father says. So Rich is an interesting man, apparently. And Ned wants to invite them both over on Friday night for a barbecue. So Alice is like, oh, lovely, especially if Liz and Eric are already friends, that makes sense. And Liz is like, yeah, okay, I guess, fine. But she's really she doesn't want to see Eric. She doesn't know what to make of this whole situation. And Ned is talking about how great Mr. Hankman is. He's a private businessman who's decided opportunities for growth are better here in California. Mr. Wakefield, who didn't usually handle contracts, taken care of Mr. Hankman for one of his partners. It's like, oh, he got a break from his colouring books. That's nice for Ned.
Good for him.
It's like, what does he actually do? Genuinely, what is his area of expertise? Because it seems to change with every single
book. It 100% does. Contract law, family law, criminal law, who knows?
Sure. Why not? Who knows? Ridiculous. But she's just like, oh, for God's sake, maybe we should invite Darcy too over and just get this whole thing over with. But yeah, she just wants to be on her own. She's really fed up with this whole situation already.
Well, Jessica barges into Liz's room and is like, what the hell's going on? Since when are you so friendly with Eric? Why is he singing your praises to his dad? And if I didn't know better. And Liz basically says, look, cut it out. I mean it. I want to be alone. So Jessica does leave. But when she goes, Liz acknowledges to herself why she's acting like this. And it's because she's falling in love with Eric.
Oh, my God.
But then she does think, how could she fall in love with somebody who's into Darcy? That clearly has terrible taste.
Basically, yeah, which is very funny.
So the next day, Darcy says she has some hot gossip for Jessica and whisks her away because she talked to Sue, who reveals that the murder in Cleveland happened 4 days before Eric arrived in Sweet Valley.
Oh my God. And apparently Eric fits the description Sue says the police are giving. So apparently this is the description the police are giving for a murder suspect. 17 years old, dark hair, hazel eyes, a sort of shifty, mysterious look.
Official police language. I mean, it probably would be in Sweet Valley, but this is Cleveland.
It's so funny that this is what she says is the police description. But Jessica can't believe what she's hearing, and she shudders when she thinks about this poor murdered girl. She's like, what else do they know about this guy? But not much. Apparently the Ohio police linked this girl's murder to a similar case that occurred the previous year, or last fall. Yeah. The police think the murderer is a psychopath who forms relationships with girls and then kills them. She's like, it's awful. We have to find out everything we can about Eric. And Jessica's starting to get upset now because she's like, oh God, he is kind of weird, and he gets this really strange look in his eyes every once in a while, which is true. Yeah. So she's like, what else is there? What else can we find out? But Darcy says, that's all that she knows for now. The police are working on the case and they're worried the killer will strike again. So it's all getting very dramatic. And Jessica's like, God, you don't really think it's Eric? But Darcy's like, we just have to watch him, watch every move he makes and report back to each other. So Jessica's like, should we tell someone?
Oh my God,
my dad or Mr. Rob, who works in the newspaper office.
The cops!
Or the cops, yeah. Darcy's like, no way, Jess, be real. The whole point is we have an advantage because Eric won't try to act different in front of us.
What the fuck are you talking about? This is one of my main logical issues. Why do I even try? Is that Darcy's whole thing is can't go to the police without proof. if you think somebody is a wanted murderer, you can just go to the police and they will get a photo of the suspect and will be able to find out one way or the other quite quickly. They have fax machines.
If it's a potential lead, they will take that seriously. But Darcy's just like, no, we have to keep it to ourselves. We'll report to each other. And then Jessica, of course, is like, oh, fuck, he's coming to my house for dinner. So Darcy's like, no, this is good because, you can really get a good look at how he's behaving. Jessica's like, yeah, okay. But she's really kind of scared now about Eric, and she's like, how is she going to pretend to be normal when she sees him at work, let alone in their house on Friday night? But again, it's funny that Jessica's trying to be the voice of reason here, because she has to be the Elizabeth now in this dynamic, because Darcy is so Jessica that Jessica herself is now Liz and kind of being the one being like, we should go to the cops, and then be talked out of it
by this absolute batshit lunatic. Darcy does dismiss the whole fact that he's coming to their house. She's like, oh, he's not going to kill anybody there. Like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this is perfect. You can report back to me and tell me what he's like up close.
So Liz is still managing to avoid Eric, and she wonders, is his secretive side because he was secretly in love with Darcy? And when Jessica tries to tell her about Darcy's theory, she dismisses it. And then on Thursday, Seth asks her to get a coffee for him, and she basically ignores Eric, who is kind of baffled by this.
Yeah, he's confused. He's been looking for her, and like he kind of says this to her, and she's just like, oh, and a donut as well. She's not even looking at him as she's placing the order. It's very rude. Yeah. Eric is anguished. There's a customer there in the line behind Liz and everything who's just like, oh God, this is awkward.
I'll bet it was.
But he basically chases after her when she leaves the coffee shop. He's like, why have you been avoiding me? And Liz is just like, oh, why should I avoid you? But he's like, I thought you cared about me and I'm trying to talk to you and you're acting like we're strangers. Like, what?
They did basically go on that date. And she was just all like, shush, shush, we cannot speak of that, don't speak.
So he's like, have I done something to upset you? Like, what's going on? And Liz is like, I should have come right out and told you, but I felt embarrassed. I liked you a lot too. But then Darcy showed me the poem you wrote her and my feelings were hurt. And Eric's like, what are you talking about? Like the poem? So he explains that, like, yeah, dude, I wrote that for you. I just didn't want anyone to know about it because we said we'd keep this whole thing a secret. He's like, I didn't want to tell Darcy who it was really for, obviously, but he didn't ever think that Darcy would tell Liz. So this is why he's been so confused by this whole situation. So Liz is like, oh my God, it was really for me. He's like, of course it was, Liz. And they have another kind of tense moment staring at each other in, I guess, the lobby of this busy building.
Yeah. He says that, if there was someone else in your life, I don't know what I'd do, he cried. And Liz is like, uh-oh. So now she's, cool your jets, Eric. Like, I know that you've sort of gone a few dates, but this is a bit much. But it's very typical Sweet Valley style.
It is. It's the heightened drama. Like, he's literally like anguished cry over the fact that what if she had someone in her life and how terrible that would be? And then, of course, Liz is like, fuck, I need to tell him about Jeffrey before someone else does. And I need to fix this somehow before it gets out of hand. But it kind of already has, in fairness.
Yeah. Oh, that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
So on Friday, we learned that the Beckwiths, who at least were canonically living next door at the time, are the guests. And Jessica is all casual, even though she was just on the phone to Darcy, planning out she's going to spy on Derek all night. And then Darcy rings again and is like, oh, you need to watch him like a hawk, because the psychologist who's reported on the murderer says that he has mood swings.
Oh my God. Well, that does sound like Eric. So Darcy's kind of nervous on the phone. She warns Jess to be careful. So Jessica's still kind of shivering and shuddering at this whole thing. She's really jittery. She keeps imagining horrible scenarios where Eric will get angry and turn into a raving psychopath. And the more she thinks about it, the more sure she is that Eric is the murderer that the Ohio police are chasing, because he definitely goes through mood swings. A dark, stormy look he gets in his eyes. And she's just getting more and more unnerved the more she thinks about it.
So everyone's out in the patio but Liz, and Jessica is like, why is she taking so long to get ready? Like, she goes in and checks on her, and Liz is putting on mascara, and she's like, why are you so dressed up? And Liz is like, no, I'm not dressed up. This is an old skirt. It's fine.
Yeah, so Jessica's suspicious now. She's like, I hope you're not trying to look better for Eric's sake, because, and then Liz cuts her off and she's like, look, I'm not trying to look better for anyone's sake. Just leave me alone. But Jessica wants to talk to her about Eric, but Liz just doesn't want to hear it. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. But Jessica's like, look, just promise me that you and Eric aren't friends and that you'd never go with him anywhere or do anything with him. Because she's just really worried now about Liz's safety, because she suspects that they are closer than Liz has been letting on. But Liz is just like, oh, we've never done anything more than say hello at work. And that's the way it's going to stay. Because, yeah, she's just still insistent on keeping their relationship a secret from everybody.
Yes. So they head outside, and Jessica has to admit that Eric looks cute when he arrives, but she's not fooled. They're interviewed the Beckwiths, who, well, Mr. Beckwith anyway, has absolutely no manners at all.
None whatsoever.
What is wrong with this man?
Also, who is this man? Because I feel like the Beckwiths, you only ever heard about Mrs. Beckwith, who I always pictured as like elderly neighbour. But it turns out it's like Dan and Amy Beckwith are like this couple that live next door who have a son, Eric, who's like only a little bit older than the kids, or maybe he's like Stephen's age. Like, I just, who are these people? But yeah, this guy, Dan Beckwith, he is introduced to Rich Hankman, to Eric's father. But he's really insistent that he knows him from somewhere. He's like, no, the name doesn't ring a bell, but I never forget a face. And you look so familiar. Like, have you and I met somewhere before? And Mr. Hankman's like, no, I don't think so. And, I couldn't think where that would be. But Mr. Beckwith will not let this go. He's just
my God.
Hankman, did you go to Cornell?
Mad.
Like, no. And like Mr. Hankman is being polite, but Beckwith will not drop this. Like, he keeps coming back to it and being like, did you ever go to like wherever, like California before? Were you in San Francisco? It's like, dude, drop it. He doesn't want to talk about it. You don't know each other.
He is so persistent. It is genuinely nuts. Like, he just will not let it drop for quite some time. And at one stage when he says how familiar, Mr. Hankman looks, Eric awkwardly knocks over a drink. Yeah. And Jessica's like, isn't it suspicious that these people don't want to talk about Ohio? And then at one stage, Alice says, who wants to be first in line for a hamburger? Stephen raised his hand. Me, he cried, and everyone laughed. And we're told, even at 18, Stephen's appetite was like that of a growing boy, and the family often teased him about it. 18-year-olds eat like absolute horses.
Yeah.
Like, even when I was a very, very skinny 18-year-old, I was eating the equivalent of like half a slice of bread a day. Like in a toast form. Half a loaf of bread. What am I saying? Sorry.
Bread. No wonder you're skinny.
No, like 9 slices. And that was just when I was at home.
Yes. Yeah, it's weird. All the food stuff is very strange in this book. But yeah, I have to say, I kind of liked seeing Stephen around. I feel like we haven't seen him in ages.
Oh,
like,
that's
true.
There
he is now. He's still knocking around.
No hang gliding this time.
Well, not yet. But soon, Stephen. Soon.
So Ned tells Mr. Hankman how friendly everybody is in Sweet Valley because it's such an amazing place. And Mr. Hankman, again, refuses to let things go. And Jessica's like, you're hitting a nerve now. Like, why don't they want to talk? Like, he's just continuing this badgering, effectively. And it essentially, like, Eric looks more and more nervous. Eric feels really uncomfortable when Mr. Beckwith asks him a direct question. And shortly after dinner, Mr. Hankman says that they have to get home, and Eric, looking ill at ease and unhappy, gets to his feet too. And I don't blame them, because Mr. Beckwith has just been asking nosy, weird questions for like 2 hours.
Truly, it's like, if you have that thing where it's like, oh, have we met before? No, I don't think so. Okay, you fucking move on. But Beckwith has just been interrogating him all the way through dinner, so I genuinely do not blame Hankman for being like, right, I'm getting the fuck out of here. This has been a weird and uncomfortable dinner. Thanks for nothing. Bye.
Well, Jessica is worried about Eric's designs on Liz because she thinks this is all shifty and not people who have been driven out of the house by weird neighbour.
It's highly suspicious.
Well, the next morning, Elizabeth wakes up from uneasy dreams about trying to call Jeffrey at camp and getting Eric instead. And it's she realised she's more confused than ever. You're not confused.
Yeah, you just don't want to face the fact that you fancy him.
And she feels she can't just casually mention the fact that she has a boyfriend at this stage. And yeah, it will be very awkward, Liz. So, you know, because she keeps fantasizing about him. Like, she thinks every time between them, the tension is so strong, she could barely stand it. And, you know, I do remember what that felt like, and it is quite fun, but not if you're going out with somebody else at the same time. Like, she just feels something is going to happen at all times.
Yes.
And because clearly there is chemistry between them.
Totally. Yeah, all these tense moments are super loaded with like potential. So it's just, but she just feels like she's at the point where she can't suddenly casually mention Jeffrey. But she's like, she has to tell him because she has to tell Eric about Jeffrey before their relationship went one step further. It wasn't fair to Eric or to Jeffrey, which at least she realizes that much.
Yeah, because literally every time he speaks, she finds himself looking at his lips, imagining what it'd be like to kiss them. And she knows that the next time they're alone together, he's going to kiss her. It's like, yeah, he fucking is. And, you know, and you're giving him all the signals. And it's not, I don't think he'd be behaving inappropriately.
No, this is
if he did this.
Yeah, like he can only work off the information he has.
It's not like somebody who's just a friend and she's like, oh shit. It's like, you are vibing. You are doing the thing where it's like you're not listening to what he's saying because you're just like dreaming of getting over them. So face up to them, Liz, and face up to the fact that you cannot be faithful to anybody.
This is true. But yeah, she realized she's going to have to talk to both Eric and Jeffrey, and fast.
Well, I mean, see what happens there. Anyway, on Saturday morning, Jessica can't wait to get to Darcy and do a full debrief. And Darcy is convinced the Hankmans are lying about their identity because she's convinced that Eric is the murderer, Christopher Wyeth.
Yes, this is according to her friend Sue. So this is the suspect in the Ohio murders. 17 years old, dark-haired, sensitive, intelligent-looking, and he's from Shaker Heights, Ohio. But he's not in Ohio anymore. He's disappeared. The police have no idea where he is. Jessica's really freaked out by this. She's like, my God, do you really think Eric could be this Chris Wyeth? And Darcy's like, well, you know, it's not worth sitting around and waiting to find out. We've got to do something fast to find out all we can about this guy. So Jessica's like, okay, so what about telling someone what we suspect? Like, shouldn't we really talk to our parents or the police? Again, trying to be reasonable. But Darcy's like, no way. We're not going to mess this up by going to the police before we have some real evidence. Because again, this is what we've been saying. It's like, you don't need real evidence. You can just go to the police. It's fine. But she's like, no, we don't say a word to anyone until we're sure. So until it's too late, basically. But Jessica doesn't like this plan. She hates the thought of him just hanging around, getting to meet some girl, starting to like her, and then the same thing happening to some other poor, unfortunate girl. But Darcy's like, no, we're going to solve this mystery alone. You and I will be heroes, and Andy Sullivan will finally notice me.
Oh my God. Well, that's what it's all about. Yeah. I mean, she's unhinged.
Completely.
Even by Sweet Valley standards, I think this is pretty mental.
I know. To the point where even Jessica's like, I don't know about this. Like Jessica, queen of bad ideas. But she makes Jessica promise that she won't say a word to anyone until they know more. But Jessica's like, well, okay, cool. But if we suspect Eric is going out with some girl here in Sweet Valley, we have to tell the police right away, and makes Darcy promise her that will be the plan. But then she's also like, okay, like, how are we going to find out more about Eric or Chris or whoever he is? So Darcy's major plan is to get a hold of Eric's notebook, because he writes poems in it, but also uses it as a diary. And she's seen him scribbling in it at work. So she reckons this is the key to figuring out his true identity, is to get a look at the notebook. So she's putting Jess on a mission.
Yeah. And of course, Jess is just like, yeah, I guess we're not going to go to the cops.
Guess not.
The only solution is solving the crime ourselves and then telling the police.
Yeah, totally.
So Jessica has to get his notebook. Fine. Yeah,
by pretending to be Liz.
Oh my God.
It's been a while since we've had a twin switch.
Oh, that's true. Okay, guess that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
So Jessica arrives at the Hankmans' house in full Liz drag, including a watch.
Fantastic.
And of course, she doesn't know what Jessica or what Liz and Eric's vibe is like. So she's really formal, and Eric's like, is everything okay? Why are you acting so weird? And Jessica realizes that these two know each other way better than she thought.
Yes, totally. Yeah. And it's kind of a shock to her that because he is so puzzled by her behavior when she's trying to just be, you know, polite and reserved and Liz-like. But there's clearly something going on between them because the way he's looking at her, he's giving her a tender, meaningful smile. He's like, yeah, totally. You can have a look at my notebook. Like, that's not a problem. Why are you being weird?
Yeah.
Then asks if she wants to get together that night at the same place. And Jessica's like, oh my God, she's been going off meeting this guy. She hasn't told anyone. And Jessica's like, yeah, totally. Of course. Oh, gotta go now because I have to go see Enid. And again, Eric's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm not nervous.
By the way, I'm just going to say now, he arranges this date with Liz or with Jessica. But I guess maybe they've arranged it already because he does say, do you feel well enough to get together tonight? Do you still want to meet at the same place?
Oh,
but
so it's established.
But it's quite vague there because later on when Liz turns up, I'm like, how does she know about this? Because Jessica does not tell her. So it's slightly confusing.
Yeah.
Jessica takes the notebook and runs so she can look at his poems. And she's horrified that Liz is agreeing to meet Eric, you know, on a rendezvous.
Yes.
But when she looks at the notebook, it feels totally innocuous, which shouldn't be surprising because he was already going to hand over some murder confession.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this is, as far as she can make out, it's just got poems, bits of poems. She's like, what was she expecting? A signed oath where he declared he was really Chris Wyeth, a murderer. So she's like, okay, this is weird, but look, this is the plan. So she cycled over as well, of course, was the other thing. So she hops back on her bike with the notebook and heads back towards Darcy.
Yes.
She's really worried now about Liz because it turns out Eric is interested in a girl in Sweet Valley, and it turns out it's Liz. So she's like, oh God, I'm going to have to warn her, try and make sure that Liz doesn't meet Eric that night or ever.
Yes. So she cycles off, but she does not notice that she is being followed by a black Mercedes. And she starts to panic. And then the car stops in front of her. And this is genuinely pretty scary because the car... when it stops, a young man jumps out of the passenger side, and she's too terrified to look at him. But she knows that he's dressed well, and she catches a whiff of strong men's cologne and tobacco. But he steps right in the front of her path, and then when she applies the brakes, he grabs the handlebars. So this is pretty scary.
And she is frightened. So she says, "Let go of the handlebars." He shakes the bike and says, "Listen to me. If you know what's good for you, you'll stop seeing that boyfriend of yours. You hear me?" And Jessica's really scared now, and she's just like, "Leave me alone." And he knocks her over on the bike, like just sends the whole thing to the ground. Poor Jessica cries out in pain and then sees the guy snatching the notebook and running off back to the car with it. So the car takes off with the notebook. Jessica's really shaken and scared because that is a frightening encounter.
Yeah, very much so.
She's also like, what the fuck is he talking about? Why did he call Eric her boyfriend? Like, who are these guys? So she's really shaken by this. She's not hurt and the bike isn't damaged, but it's just the whole thing was so scary that obviously you'd be quite upset by it.
Oh, totally. So she goes to Darcy and she can't understand why anybody would want this notebook. Like, it's just poems. And Darcy's like, maybe it's a code. What, for murderers? What about... Sure. And then she's like, maybe it's a detective who wanted the prints. It's like, if it's a detective, they could just go and arrest him. Like, what is wrong with you, Darcy?
Yeah, Darcy is hilarious. She just doesn't give a shit about these twins at all. It's all just her mission. So Jessica's like, look, I want to stay out of this. I just want to warn Liz not to have anything to do with Eric. And Darcy's like, yeah, you should go straight home and tell her that whatever she does, she doesn't meet him alone. You can even tell her I forgive her for trying to steal Eric away from me. But Jessica's like, we need to tell somebody about this. This is serious. Like, that was really scary. That guy properly terrified me. And now he thinks I'm linked to Eric, or at least that Liz is. So now we're both in danger. Like, can't you see that? But Darcy's like, yeah, but we don't have enough evidence to go to the police. All conjecture. You know, what can we say? That Eric seems nervous, that he's from Ohio. We need more to go on.
What? Like, that would be not enough evidence to charge him. You're just reporting a suspect.
This is the thing. And like, at this point, Jessica has been assaulted by a guy who like, knocked her off her bike. Like, you could totally go to the cops with this. But Darcy's like, no, give me the weekend. And after the weekend, we can go to the police. I need more time. We need to figure this out. And Jessica's like, all right, fine. Look, her main priority right now is to warn Liz and try and keep her away from Eric. So she's like, I'm going home. Okay, bye.
My notes do say when Darcy says, give me the weekend, she'll say, Darcy, you were deranged. And she is.
She really is.
So like, give me the weekend. I just need 48 hours to crack this case.
Crack this thing wide open.
So Jessica gets home and finds out that Liz has gone out with Enid and she's staying overnight. So somehow Jessica can't warn her because, I don't know, Enid has a phone. I think there's one point where she does ring her house and there's no answering machine. But like, it's like, oh, she's in Enid's house, like in the dark side of the moon. Like there's no way she can get in touch.
They're gone to the beach for the day, I think is the thing. But it's like, it's not the usual beach. It's someplace else. And Alice can't remember where.
I guess.
So Jessica is just freaking out because I guess while they're out for the day, there is no way of reaching her. But like, yeah, all you do is ring her in the evening. Like, but Jessica's freaking out. There's no way of tracking her down possibly. And yeah, she's just like, how is she possibly going to warn her about Eric in time?
Yeah, she's got to stay over at Enid's because Enid's man is away.
Yeah.
So yes, Liz literally moans, Elizabeth! And Jessica moaned softly. Oh. She has to think of getting a message to her, way to get a message to her twin. Because Elizabeth could be in serious danger.
Oh my goodness.
So the next day, she's in no mood to hang out with Darcy and Sweet Valley pals in the Dairy Burger, but she's sort of saddled with this arrangement now. And Darcy tries to charm Winston and Aaron. And then who should come in but Eric?
So Jessica's like, she's kind of horrified to see him. But of course, Amy's like, oh, who is that guy? He is really cute. Of course, he comes over to the table, asks if he can join them. And there's this lively conversation going on between Aaron and Winston where they're talking about their soccer team's chances and whatever, because Jeffrey is on the team. They've got every chance of being All-State this coming fall. And of course Jessica's like, oh fuck, I can't let them talk about Jeffrey because then of course it'll come up that that's who Liz's boyfriend is. So she's trying to change the conversation. She's like, oh, did anyone see that new James Bond movie? And Eric is like, yeah, I did. But the boys are still talking about Jeffrey. There's no way of getting them off topic here. And Jessica is so stressed. But Aaron eventually is like, oh, we shouldn't be talking this way in front of Jessica. You'll go home and tell Liz, won't you? Because we know how loyal Liz is. One bad thing said about Jeffrey, she'll hate us all for months. And of course, there's this really awkward silence as Eric suddenly perks up and he's like, who's Jeffrey?
And then Winston pretends to be horrified. It's like, what? Do you mean you know the Wakefield twins and you don't know about Jeffrey French? He's the light of Elizabeth's life. Or as you common mortals put it, her boyfriend. And Eric is just like, where is he now?
This is so chilling. I'm sorry. Eric seems like an absolute psychopath here. Like his expression changes so swiftly. He like puts down his hamburger and clears his throat. Like, yeah, where is he now? He's remarkably controlled, Jessica thought, but she can see a muscle twitching in his jaw. He's like a fucking coiled spring. Like I find him quite scary.
See, I think because I guessed what the truth was. That I was
over here in Dumbass Corner, I'm just like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
So I was like, he's just reacting to finding out that the girl he's been seeing has a boyfriend the whole time, which you would be pissed off at. So they're like, oh, he's got cancer for the summer, but he's a great guy. I'm sure you'll really like him. And then Eric is like, sure, and storms out. And now Jessica realizes that now Eric has a reason to be enraged with Liz, or her life is really in danger.
Yeah.
Or is it?
She's really worried because only God knew what Eric Hankman would do once his affection had turned to fury.
So, cut to later, and Liz has been stood up at the beach disco. We're told she knows that Eric is always on time. How? You've gone out with him like 4 times. And of course, she's been looking forward to seeing him all day. And she does know how strong her feelings are. But she's glad that she has Enid for consolation because she's staying over with her. She's staying over with her and going out on a date, which is a bit weird.
Isn't it? Yeah, very. It's like, all right, Enid, bye. I know we had plans, but I'm going to go hang out with this guy instead. Yeah, so that is a bit odd. But she eventually has to give up and realizes that he's not coming. So she has to drive back to Enid's house, but decides to kind of go for a bit of a spin first because she's just feeling kind of sad about the whole thing, but then realizes there's a car following her.
There sure is. And for some reason, instead of just keep going on to Enid's house, she pulls off down like a side road for some insane reason.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, enabling the driver of the car to pull up in front of her and stop. And then a middle-aged man gets out and he flashes her what she recognizes as an FBI ID card. So she's just like, what the hell is this? So he says his name is Reardon. Now, No, the Irish name now spelt wrong, but whatever.
Look, that's Ellis Island for you.
Like all those Kavanaghs with a U.
Yeah. Just doing it wrong.
Yeah. So he's like, you know a young man called Eric Hankman? And she's like, yeah, I was actually meant to meet him tonight. And this guy's like, so anything unusual about him? Any reason you feel suspicious when you're with him? And the guy says, oh, we're trying to ascertain some facts about him. And do you have any idea where he is tonight? And then it's like, oh, well, thanks very much. And heads off. So Liz is like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, like, why are there FBI agents trying to find out about Eric? Like, that is really weird. And when she goes home and tells Enid about it, Enid is also like, what the hell is that about? Like, that is so weird. So neither of them know what the hell is going on.
But Enid is also is like, well, more important than the fact that he is possibly wanted by the FBI is the fact that, you haven't been clear about your feelings for him.
Priorities, Liz.
Do you think the FBI thing is probably more important? But anyway.
You feel like that would shoot to the top of the list of concerns, but there you go.
Well, she thinks, look, you've got to figure out how you feel about him, which is clearly that you really fancy him and you want to hook up with him. And, maybe... this is the most important thing. And you just have to be honest how you're feeling about Jeffrey and be brutally honest with yourself about what you want from Eric and then talk honestly with him. And, maybe he already knows about Jeffrey. It's like, maybe that's why he stood you up. And, which is true. Mm. So then you could ask him, was there any reason why he'd be followed by the FBI?
First you sort out your feelings and then you get to the FBI stuff. That's the natural order of things. But Enid does remember that she had a note that she forgot to give to Liz that had been slipped under the door from Jessica. But yeah, she had left this note, but it turns out the Rollins cat, Muffy, tore it up.
Come from?
Like, okay, I'm down with the Rollinses having a cat. So apparently Muffy is a bit of a terror, a playful cat, famous for exactly this kind of domestic damage. So the note is completely beyond saving. There's no way to read what was written on it because it's been absolutely shredded by their maniacal cat.
Yes, and it was a note from Jessica.
Yeah.
So Enid suggests they head off to her aunt's cabin the next day to clear their heads. Now, the cabin is canon because remember that was when Amy came back. Yeah. So Liz agrees. Well, the next day, we learned that Darcy has a cold and is eating everything she can find to restore her strength.
Sure. I'm on board with that.
Beat cold, starve of fever.
I mean, I too would be horsing into a big bag of peanut M&Ms as Darcy is doing in this scene. In fact, I don't need the excuse of a cold. I'll just do it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Darcy is like, look, she's trying to talk Jessica down. She's like, Liz isn't in danger right now. In fact, she's quite safe because she's with Enid up in the mountains. So she's fine and everything's going to be grand there. Because, once Jessica realised this is where Liz is, she can kind of relax somewhat because, she's out of town. She's away from Eric. She's fine for now.
Yes. And Jessica realises Darcy just cares about her cold and isn't really concerned with Liz's safety. And Jessica's like, look, we have to call the cops now. And Darcy's like, oh, well, Sue has... So Sue's connections have somehow got her the police artist composite picture of the suspected killer. Now, surely...
The Cleveland Strangler. It did run in the papers. So she is sending her a local paper from her area. So she's posting it express. So it'll be there the following day.
I do wonder, why is it just a composite picture if they have an actual suspect called Christopher Wyeth? Because they might just get a photo of him.
Yeah, that's so true.
So it's going to arrive tomorrow because Sue is sending it express mail. That's how committed she is to this lunacy. And then that will be somehow solid evidence. And she convinces Jessica not to call the cops, who could get hold of this photo whenever they wanted.
Well, that's true. But so she's like, look, either Eric is going to look like this composite or he won't. And, if he does, then we get the cops involved. But Jessica's like, oh, but what if she gets hurt before then? Poor Liz. And Darcy's just like, the situation is totally under control. Your sister is safe. She'll go to work tomorrow. If she sees Eric at all, it will just be to say hello in the coffee shop. Nothing can happen, not before we get a chance to study the composite. And again, Darcy's like, if Eric turns out to look close enough to this picture, we'll call the police right away. But Jessica is still just uneasy about this whole thing. She's not going to let Liz out of her sight as soon as she's home. She's not going to let Liz spend 1 second alone with Eric or Chris or whoever he was because Elizabeth's life might depend on it.
Well, the next day, Darcy is worried because she calls in sick and she's relieved to discover that Liz did turn up for work that day. She does have some human feelings. But Liz is out reporting with Seth, so, she won't be anywhere near Eric. But then the post arrives and her mouth goes dry as she looks at the photocopy of the sketch the police artist had drawn from witnesses' descriptions. There was evidence is uncanny.
The guy whose name and address they have.
Who's vanished.
Yes, but there is no denying it. This drawing looked a lot like Eric Hankman.
So Darcy is like, okay, I have to get into the office as fast as possible. I have to tell Jessica about this. I mean, you could just figure. And they have to get hold of Elizabeth. Doesn't feel like calling the cops. She's like, they've got to warn Elizabeth, then they'll go to the police. Yeah. Even though Liz is like out for the day. Just ring the police now.
I know. She's out on assignment. She won't be back till later. Jessica's horrified. She's like, oh my God, because Darcy does make her way into the office. And Jessica's so upset that this guy, Eric, really is Chris Wyeth because he does look like this composite. And Jessica's like, we should have called the police before. Like, what if Eric runs into Eric somehow before we can get to her and warn her? He's got a reason to be mad at her now because he knows about Jeffrey. But Darcy's like, whatever we do, we'll find her before Eric does. But Jessica's just like, she's so freaked out. She just really hopes that Liz is still with Seth and far away from Eric and that she'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, we get multiple pages of Liz being out on reporting with Seth. And eventually she's like, look, I've got to... he says, look, we can call it a day because he can tell that she's distracted. Yeah. And they head back to the office and she says she's going to stay working late. But she realises that she has to talk to Eric and confess all. So she's going to call into him in the coffee shop. And when they arrive at the building, she doesn't notice Jessica and Darcy are like on the 5th floor, waving frantically down at her as she heads towards the coffee shop. And she finds Eric, who was clearly like, why the fuck did you tell me you had a boyfriend?
Yeah. So he's obviously very like cool with her. His expression darkens when he sees her. Liz is just, because she doesn't know, of course, all of this. She's like, why aren't you glad to see me? He's like, why should I be? But then like these customers come in, so their conversation keeps getting interrupted. So there's this young woman with her little boy who's only like 4 or 5. So Eric has to go serve them. So when Liz is like, look, we need to talk alone. These people will be fine for a few minutes, but I have to talk to you. And Eric is like, why? What's the use? So he grabs her arm.
It's not cool, Eric.
This is terrible. He grabs her arm roughly. He says, come on, you want to talk? Let's talk. Tears off his apron, pulls Liz out of the shop and into the corridor. He's almost running. So he's basically running away with Liz in his grip. She's starting to cry because it hurts. And then she hears Jessica shriek her name from across the foyer or from wherever this layout is of this building. Because Jessica and Darcy are now running towards them. Jessica looks really frightened. And like Jessica's voice has made her stop dead in her tracks. And she's like, look, it's my sister. She's upset. But Eric is like, forget her. He breaks into a run, pulling Liz after him, drags her into a tiny alley around the corner. So he's lost Jessica and Darcy because they run straight past. And Liz can hear Jessica screaming, we've got to find her. Eric claps his hand over Elizabeth's mouth so she can't call out to them.
Eric.
Suddenly, though she knew it was crazy, Elizabeth was frightened. I'm like, Liz, this whole thing
is... He dragged you out of the coffee shop.
This is insane behaviour from Eric. Like, at this point, I was like, oh my God, he's totally the murderer. Like, who does this? He's kidnapped her, dragged her to this alley, and like is covering her mouth with his hand so she can't call for help. Go to hell, Eric Hankman. What the fuck is this?
Oh, see, I wish I hadn't guessed the twist.
You see, it's great being an idiot. So he's just staring at her. He's like, there's one thing for sure, Liz. If we're going to talk alone. So he's being so scary with her. And of course, Jessica is now freaking out. She can't find Liz. They ran this way, but they've lost them, basically. There's no sign of them. So Jessica bursts into tears. She's really scared now for her sister. She's like, Darcy, he's got her. We've got to help. We have to call the police. Like, this is enough.
She's screaming at the top of her lungs, Liz! And then they literally have L-I-Z.
Obviously, there's no sign of Liz. Jessica is still crying. They run back into the building just as Mr. Beckwith comes racing out.
Oh,
he works in the building. I can't remember why he's there. So he's like, girls, you have to help me. There's a child in the coffee shop who's choking. I tried the Heimlich maneuver and it didn't work. Unless someone does something, he's going to die.
I mean, Beckwith, ring the police or ring the ambulance. Why are you running out and telling these children to do it?
What are you doing? So they run back into the coffee shop where this poor kid is laid flat
choking
on the floor,
to death,
cannot breathe. And Mr. Beckwith is like, Jessica, you need to run outside to the payphone and call an ambulance. And
so
meanwhile,
the kid's lying on the floor and they're choking.
Meanwhile, shout for a doctor. Like, this is bananas. So of course, Jessica has to forget about Liz because there's now suddenly a more pressing matter right in front of her. So she runs out to get to the payphone. And as she does, Mr. Hankman comes out of the diner that's nearby and he's like, Jessica, is everything all right? Jessica's bawling, crying. She's trying to explain what's happening when Beckwith again comes tearing out of the... I'm sorry, this kid is dead by now. It's taking so long. So now Beckwith is back in the coffee shop. This man is insane. He's now screaming for help. He's like, someone get the police, get an ambulance. There's a little boy in the shop choking to death. Hankman looks at Jessica. He's like, is that true? And Jessica nods. So he charges into the building and then sees Eric, who's now back here again. This whole bit is so confusing.
Also, no one's called 911.
No one has called a fucking ambulance at this point. They're all just standing there now in the coffee shop together.
Beckwith has spent more time.
He's in and out of that fucking building, nowhere near a phone, of being absolutely useless.
He ran out and said, someone called an ambulance. Do it yourself, Beckwith.
Like, what are you doing?
There's a payphone out there.
And I'm sorry, that coffee shop definitely has a phone.
Oh, God, yeah.
It just does.
So Eric is like, no, Dad, don't, when he sees his dad striding back into the coffee shop. And of course, Jessica turns and Eric's like, what have you done with my sister? Yeah. And Eric just looks at her blankly and is like, would somebody please tell me what's going on in here? And Mr. Beckwith, or Mr. Hankman, who still has not just run in to save this choking child, who, as you say, is following the light down a tunnel at this stage.
Sorry, like, this kid's gone.
Well, Mr. Hankman's like, a child is in danger and I'm going to help him. And then Liz comes around the corner and Jessica flings herself into her arms and it's like, thank God you're all right. And this is like, why wouldn't I be? And Jessica's like, look, do you have any idea who Eric Hankman has, or who Eric Hankman really is? But before she can answer, there's a blood-curdling scream from inside the coffee shop.
Yeah, because this poor woman whose son is choking to death for the last half an hour is just saying, someone help my little boy. He's choking on a bite of bread. Someone help him, please. Liz comes into the coffee shop and is so stricken by this sight. She's like, I can't look. And she looks away. Like, this poor woman is just shouting, we need a doctor, help, please. Mr. Hankman pushes his way in, checks the kid for a pulse, and he turns to his son and he says, Eric, I want you to bring me the sharpest knife you've got behind the counter. Bring a plastic straw and a couple of clean dish towels. Then I want you to take this little boy's mother out of here because it's time for a fucking emergency tracheotomy.
Yes, it is! Oh, my God. Because, of course, Mr. Hankman is a doctor. When did we hear about a doctor earlier in this book?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I was so excited about the emergency tracheotomy that I was just like so caught up. Like, this is amazing. There's nothing better than an emergency tracheotomy. It's usually a biro instead of a straw, but let's fucking go.
See, I was like, I was right.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, yeah. So he does the procedure perfectly.
He does.
And it's amazing. He saves the kid. He tells Eric to get on the phone, call Fowler Memorial, tell them we've done an emergency tracheotomy and the patient is stable and to send an ambulance right away.
That ambulance should have been on its way 10 minutes ago.
The fucking ambulance.
Oh, and if you think that's ridiculous, well.
Oh my God.
I actually, when I was reading this made me laugh out loud.
Oh my God.
So Mr. Beckwith, who was my note saying, Mr. Beckwith, the most ridiculous man in the world.
He He's just too dumb to live. This is why we never hear about him apart from this book, because what the hell is going on with this man? He is staring at Mr. Hankman. I don't believe it, he whispered. No wonder you look familiar. And Mr. Hankman is like, please, for my son's sake. But Mr. Beckwith, to a crowd that has now assembled, goes, do you know who this is?
He cried triumphantly. And
like poor Hankman and he's like, Eric, come on, we have to go. We got to go now. Let's go. And Liz is like, no, where are you going? Let me come with you. So this massive crowd is now closing in. And Mr. Beckwith, to this assembled fucking crew of people, goes, that's Dr. Ryan. I never would have recognized him till I saw him operate on that child. But that's him. He's the one who testified against Frank DeLuca. Beckwith, you absolute creature. What are you doing?
Just told a room full of people that you've spotted somebody who is in witness protection.
It is deranged behavior from Beckwith. Like, what is happening? Sorry, this is just what I love about this book, that it's so kind of like plodding along, and suddenly it's like, Eric's a psychopath, there's an emergency tracheotomy. Beckwith is announcing this like person in witness protection who's wanted by the mob to an assembly of people. This is insane.
My notes literally say, this is insane, because first of all, Darcy's like, but Eric isn't Chris Wyeth. And then Liz is like, but Mr. Hankman doesn't look anything like Dr. Ryan. He's got dark hair, he's got a beard, he's much heavier. And Beckwith's like, well, of course he looks different. Literally says that. That's the whole point of the witness protection program that you've just blown, Beckwith.
No, Beckwith, keep yelling about it to everybody in the fucking building. Oh my God. So Liz is just so amazed by this. She's like, no wonder Eric was so secretive about his past and seemed so bitter. And her heart goes out to the pair of them now that, you know, Mr. Hankman, aka Dr. Ryan, has basically risked his life to save this little boy. You know, a true doctor. He couldn't possibly have stood by and watched the child suffocate without trying to help. So now she's like, what's going to happen to them now that their identities have been revealed? And she's terrified.
Mr. Beckwith.
By Mr. Beckwith. Well, she's terrified what this could mean for them. And like, there was no reason for this at all. Beckwith only had to keep his fucking mouth shut and he couldn't do it. And she's like, oh my God, what if they have to leave Sweet Valley? It's like, yeah, dude, of course they do, because Beckwith's a fucking idiot and he's blown their cover.
Liz runs out after them because she realizes that she's never, you know, she hasn't even told Eric how she feels about him. But now he's gone, and Jessica and Darcy are arguing about the composite Sue. So Jessica or Liz realizes that there's no sign of Eric or his dad, and the ambulance arrives and takes the kid to the little Timothy. You know, sure. I've got a book with a Timothy in it too. I really do.
Oh, this whole episode has just turned into marketing for Arson.
I mean, and the next one.
I love it. You're just making the opportunities. It's so good.
I mean, I've got to always be hustling.
There you go.
So Timothy has been, little Tim has been taken away.
Finally. And
she sees, Jessica sees Liz head off to the car. And she realizes that he's being pursued by she's being pursued by a man in a grey suit.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so she sees this guy following and realizes he's the same one who knocked her off her bike that time and stole Eric's notebook.
So Liz might be in actual trouble.
Uh-oh.
So Liz heads to Eric's house and he embraces her and apologizes for his lies and weird behavior. And basically, you know, she realizes that he's just traumatized by having to abandon not only his home, but for some reason his mother and sisters couldn't come with them.
Yeah, apparently because Mr. Hankman explains that his wife and daughter were supposed to come out and join them in a few months if all had gone well. And now it doesn't look like they'll ever be able to make it again as a whole family. I'm like, what is the point of witness protection if you're not with your family being moved around?
Yeah.
Like, that seems like two different places you're now having to protect instead of keeping everyone together. But
yeah.
You know,
and Mr. Hankman says, or Dr. Ryan, as he really is, says that, you know, he wanted to do the right thing, but like maybe he wouldn't have if he'd known what it would do to his family because he's condemned them to a life of running away. And Liz insanely is like, but Sweet Valley wouldn't be dangerous. No one will hurt you here. Sweet Valley is different. You were literally kidnapped, Liz. Literally kidnapped and held in a shack. Like, I don't know what to say.
Oh, I like her delusion about this town is so amazing. But yeah, look, I could say Mr. Hankman, Dr. Ryan.
Yes.
He's like, look, the people that are following us are DeLuca's men. Look, they've been tipped off somehow. It's not safe for us to be here. Like, I'd love to believe the best of people, and I don't want to endanger my son's life, but we need to go. Like, this isn't safe for us now, and our only choice is to get out of Sweet Valley as fast as we possibly can. But again, Liz is just like, no, but everyone in the coffee shop thought you were a hero. They'll keep your secret. It'll all be fine. You know, if you stay, people will protect you. But
she literally says, you don't understand Sweet Valley.
Like, dude, shut up. Seriously, like, this man's life is in danger. His son and the rest of his family. And she's like, no, but my town's amazing.
Would you like to read this article I wrote for the Sweet Valley News about how brilliant it is?
It's like, Liz, get out of this man's way.
He's literally like packing.
Yeah, as this is happening, like they need to go.
So yeah, Eric does make the good point and says, like, shouldn't we ring like the witness protection people? And Hank's like, no, we're on our own now, son.
Yeah, that is insane. I will say that. It's like, no, you obviously call your fucking handler or whoever is taking care of this for you. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, his trust is gone basically in anybody, I suppose. So yeah, he's just like, we have to go. We need to get out of here right now. Like, there's no time.
But he will, while he goes up to pack, he'll give Liz and Eric a moment to say goodbye.
Yes.
And of course, Liz feels all emotional. She's literally, tears are spilling because she's like, you can't leave, you just can't. And she flings herself into his arms, tears streaming down her cheeks. It's like, we've got to think of something. And he's like, I'm so afraid this was going to happen. I knew meeting you was too good to be true. And I know it sounds corny, but I felt we could, really be together. But it's never happened to me before. But, obviously fate has intervened, and Liz is still wailing and weeping, and that Eric thinks he'll just be a beautiful mirage. And he does say, I don't understand about Jeffrey. You're still in love with him, aren't you? And she's like, I can pretend I'm not. But actually, I'm torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool. Loving more than one man is breaking all the rules, as the song says.
Essentially, that is exactly what she says, actually. Yeah.
And then Eric reveals that he has the most Irish name ever.
Oh my God. Secret Irishman this whole time. Yes, apparently his real name is Michael Ryan.
I feel I must know a Michael Ryan.
I definitely went to school with a Michael Ryan. Come on.
That is like the most generic Irish name that you could possibly think. Like way more than something like Seamus or something.
Oh my God. 100%. It's the John Smith of Ireland. Yeah. It's basically Michael Ryan.
Oh my God.
It's like that. If you were trying to Google a Michael Ryan, good luck to you. It is not going to happen. You have to narrow that down from thousands of people.
Micheál O'Rian.
Yeah. Yeah, all the variations.
And if you want a book where somebody finds out that somebody's name isn't necessarily what they think it is, I've got one of those for you.
Imagine that.
Got something for every occasion.
Honestly, so
except secret, mob informers. But
sure.
Apart from that, this book has got you covered for On the One has you covered for that topic.
And emergency tracheotomy.
The two
unless you're putting one into the next book.
Well, I am doing some rewrites now, so
ooh, who knows?
Not too late.
The people love an emergency tracheotomy is all I'm going to say.
I know I do. Well, Michael Ryan says that he's been more honest with her as Eric than he could have been before. And she's like, where are you going to go now? And she's like, I don't know, maybe Europe. Okay.
Yeah, because she's like, you can't tell anyone, not even me. It's like, obviously not, Liz. Jesus Christ, his life is in danger. She's like, I can't believe your dad is going to come downstairs and you two are going to walk out of here forever. You can't just leave this place.
She's literally hysterical.
Yeah, no, she needs to get a fucking grip, honest to God.
Yeah, because he's like, that is what matters. You and I have learned about what the stuff that counts. Yeah. And then the real stuff like this. And you think they're going to actually finally have like a smooch. But he just traces the outline of her lips with his finger as she closes her eyes, and he lowers his face towards her, and they're just about to kiss. When what should happen?
Well, the door is kicked open. So they jump apart and they're like, what the fuck? Because the man in the grey suit has opened the door and he says, stay there, both of you, and inches forward into the room, two men following him, both with guns.
And there's these almost OTGs, their voices rough and mean, and because they hear Dr. Ryan coming downstairs with the suitcase, and they go, "Throw it down, Ryan, and then please do us a favor, come down after it with your hands high above your head. We've got some things to talk over."
Yes, and it turns out the other guy that's there is the one who was pretending to be an FBI agent.
Oh!
So these guys have been following them this whole time.
And what the OTG says, "We happen to think you're mistaken about needing that little bag." He continues with a nasty drawl. "Isn't that true, guys?" He asks the gunman, who nod.
They're such well-trained henchmen. Good for him.
So they're like, "As a matter of fact, we happen to think you and your son and his pretty little girlfriend here aren't going anywhere." And they kick the door closed.
They're trapped. The Ryans and Liz are now trapped in the house with the gunmen.
So the gunmen are kind of hilariously like crouching. They've assumed a crouching position between the front door and the living room. And the guy in the grey suit is like, "I think it's time for us to do a little talking, Ryan, but we better talk alone." So Dr. Ryan sends the kids upstairs, and Michael says, aka Eric, says, I won't leave you, Dad. And then Elizabeth sees a new side of Dr. Ryan, the tough, courageous side that had allowed him to testify against DeLuca and rescue the choking boy in the coffee shop. I'm going to say that rescuing the choking boy in the coffee shop really should be the lead, should be expected of him as a doctor. You could just say you did a first aid class. Like he wasn't going to, like you didn't know Beckwith was going to turn up with his nonsense.
Like he could have just said he was watching lots of TV shows. Like, to be fair, my parents are bet into The Resident and they're both convinced they could do an emergency tracheotomy.
Oh God, yeah. So, I'd say my mother thinks she could as well.
Yeah, just say, exactly. Say you did a first aid class. You've been watching General Hospital, whatever it is that's right for the time. He could have found a way.
Say elsewhere, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
So, so basically he just quells Michael with animal magnetism, and Michael's like, gives him a big hug and goes upstairs.
Yeah, I have to say, Dr. Ryan actually sounds like a bit of all right.
Yeah, he's...
They describe him earlier and he sounds like a young Santi, which, as we know, is my type. That's basically my husband. So I'm down for Dr. Ryan.
He is very charismatic, so there you go. So Liz, the gangster goes, "Enough of this tear-drinking nonsense. Get upstairs and take your girlfriend with you." So Michael takes Liz upstairs and they sink down onto the couch in the den and embrace. But then Liz realizes that Dr. Ryan never disconnected the alarm system the last owner of the house installed, and she pushes the red button because this is the good neighbor system.
Insane. She explains to Michael, when you push this button, it goes off in 6 other houses in the area that are also part of the network and in the police station. It's completely silent, so they won't know downstairs, but one of the neighbours will call and say the first part of the password to his dad, and if he doesn't finish it, they'll come running right over to make sure he's all right. So it's basically neighborhood watch. Yeah. Surely you get the cops, but no, the neighbor is going to come running over. And Michael, of course, is completely cynical and disbelieving about this. He's like, "I can't believe any good neighbor system is going to be much help at this point." But Liz is like, "It can't hurt. Don't you have any faith in people at all?" And Michael's like, "No, obviously not."
I mean, you wouldn't in this circumstance.
Yeah, in fairness to him. Like,
it would fuck you up if you were like on the run, separated from your mother and sisters, and forced to change your name to Eric Hankman.
Such a dumb name. And Hankman is so awkward to say as well. Does not flow. 0 out of 10 points for that name.
Well, he assumes that one of these so-called good neighbours probably shot them into the gangsters for money, which is a reasonable deduction.
It is.
But then the phone rings and Liz is like, "There, it's working." And downstairs, the gangsters tell Dr. Ryan to answer. It's like, "One false word and you know we'll do to you, not to mention your son." So Dr. Ryan picks up the phone and it's Mr. Applebaum from next door. And he's like, "Hankman, are you all right? If you are, say the password." And Dr. Ryan is like, "I'm sorry, who did you ask for? You must have the wrong number." Mr. Applebaum cries. I'm sure the gangsters can hear this. "Just sit tight, Hankman, we're coming over."
amazing.
I love you, Mr. Applebaum.
So good. He's so enthusiastic. It's time to shine, Applebaum.
So Michael and Liz creep downstairs to see what's going on. And then what the hell is going wrong with this town?
This is amazing.
The door bursts open and Mr. Applebaum shouts, grab their guns! And the room is swarming with people.
Basically, all the neighborhood men have descended on this house and are tackling the gunmen themselves. It's crazy. Like, they're swarming the sitting room. The first gunman's weapon goes clattering across the floor. Someone called Frank Richmond grabs it. After a scuffle, Mr. Simon and another man manage to grab the second gunman and twist the gun out of his hand. Over 12 neighbors hastened over to answer the alarm. The gunmen are so badly outnumbered, they were forced to throw down their weapons just as 2 squad cars, sirens wailing, pulled into the driveway.
What?
What is happening? This is an insane alarm system. Like, what is going on?
Vigilante justice.
Unarmed vigilante justice have managed to overpower men with actual guns.
Like, I don't think anyone should have guns, but I don't think the solution would be for Mr. Applebaum to come in like cooing and full, say hello to my little friend.
But this is just wild. That it's like these
mental.
12 neighborhood men just swarm the room and manage to get control of the situation.
Instead of waiting for the cops.
Oh, it's crazy shit.
And by the way, cops professional as ever because they've taken Jessica and Darcy along for the ride.
Sure. And Mr. Beckwith, he didn't want to be left out.
And there was...
Why the fuck is he here?
He's the one who's fucked up their entire lives.
Oh my God. So ridiculous.
So yeah, when Jessica comes in, they're like hugging and crying and laughing, and Dr. Ryan is slapping Mr. Applebaum on the back, and Michael's hugging them all, and Mr. Beckwith and Darcy are gazing around in total confusion. I bet you're confused, Beckwith. Every day is confusing to you. Your complete lack of understanding of how anything works.
Truly, how does that man even function on a day-to-day basis? Like, I don't get it.
Well, they're like, what happened? And Dr. Ryan's like, well, for one thing, I learned an important lesson from Miss Wakefield today. I learned I learned a little something about being a good citizen in Sweet Valley. And basically, Michael, all his angst is cured.
Totally, because he's like, wow, Liz, you were right to trust people. I'll never forget what happened today, not as long as I live. And like, everyone is just like, wow, Liz, this is amazing. You were so right. You're right to trust people like you do.
Except the gangster, because he glares and he's like, I want to congratulate yourself too much, Ryan. They got DeLuca now, and they got me. But there are more of us, many more. You and your family will never be safe. No matter where you hide, we'll keep tracking you down.
Oh my goodness.
And Dr. Ryan is like, I don't know your name, but I know there's more of us than there are of you. And as long as there are good people in the world, people like this, my family will be safe. Maybe that won't be easy, but we're willing to fight. Okay, guess reliant on vigilante justice to protect you from the mob.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure. So the gangster is like, yeah, whatever. It was easy to find your house. Our people are everywhere too. Ha 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 ha. By the way, we won't be needing this anymore, so here's your poetry book. Why did you need it anyway? You knew where we lived.
Why would he have it with him? Like, this whole thing is so dumb. But yeah, Jessica's like, oh my God, the notebook. And then, of course, Michael / Eric / not Chris is confused because he's like, but I thought, Liz, you had the notebook. And she's like, what? And they kind of figure out the twin switch stuff. And then, yeah, is it Darcy has to explain the whole Christopher Wyeth subplot that didn't go anywhere. But it turns out, that the guy who did do the murdering was caught last night. One of the policemen reveals this.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was all going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. And Michael's like, what? You thought I was a murderer? And Darcy blushes. Is like, not at first. I thought you were really neat. And Michael's like, never mind. I don't care.
I thought he was a murderer, especially when he dragged Liz off into an alleyway and like covered her mouth. That was deranged behavior.
That was, but I think because I just knew it was like, because it's basically, now I can say, as soon as they said that there was somebody in witness protection on this trial that was constantly happening off camera and that didn't have any other connection to the story, I was like, that's who his dad is. Now, why he was working as a businessman and not as a doctor, baffling.
Who knows? Yeah, it was all very strange. I don't know what was going on with me that day that I read that book. That I wasn't piecing things together, but clearly I was just not quite functioning right.
I mean, God knows there's many times I've not spotted blatantly obvious things in these books. So,
these things happen.
Yes. So Dr. Ryan, when he's about to go off into the shadows forever.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Want to thank you, all of you, for what you did. You saved my life and my sons too." And then it's like, going to be hard to leave you, but Michael and I do have to go, even before the night is over. I just didn't want you to leave without knowing, you knowing how moved I am by what you've done. And you've reminded me what it is to be part of a real community. And now we can't be really in a community because we're constantly on the run from the mob. We're going to have to keep moving, keep changing our appearances and our names. How ineffective is witness protection? Even Ray Liotta at the end of Goodfellas is able to find somewhere.
True. Oh God, yeah, but this is what has to happen. And Michael is like, "Oh, he's so wonderful, my father." And Liz is like, "Yes, and he has a wonderful son." She's like, "How is she possibly going to say goodbye to Michael now?"
Yeah, and I guess she will, because
they need to go.
Yeah.
They still do need to leave.
And she finally bids farewell because his flight is going in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And she can't believe that she'll never even be able to write to him or talk to him on the phone. And he says, "Well, maybe one day all this rotten stuff will be over and be able to come out of hiding. And the first thing I'll do is come back to you." And she weeps and says she'll never forget him. And he's like, "You taught us about courage." And she says, "Oh, no, but it was the courage to trust people." And then he puts his finger to her lips to keep her from speaking. "Like the way I trust you." The pair of them are both at this.
They really are. It's gross. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, but I'm also like, put your fingers away. Stop that.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
So then he gives her his stupid poetry notebook and she literally gasps, "Not your poems! Oh, Michael, I couldn't." And he says, "No, when you get to bed tonight, read the poem on the last page. I wrote it for you this weekend when I thought something might come between us. Describes what I feel for you." And she's like, "Let me give you something in exchange." But he's like, "Oh, Liz, you've given me the most wonderful gift in the world. You made me believe in people again." And that's basically it. Jessica gives out to Darcy for making them both look like giant jerks and basically says, "I already know all about murder," because she's obviously witnessed quite a few crimes.
Yes, she's been embroiled in more than one murder case at this point.
Yeah. So Jessica then realizes Darcy hasn't even apologized for, her nonsensical behavior, and maybe Liz was right about her after all. And then she doesn't even wait to see if Liz is okay. She just fucks off home. It's like, "I'm going to bed."
Yeah. But again, this is very Jessica,
Yeah, very much so. So everybody the other Wakefield and Adam are there, and Jessica tells them what happened. But when Liz comes home, she just runs upstairs crying.
Mm-hmm.
And we learn she can't even bear to look at the poem in the notebook, but she falls asleep, but she just has terrible dreams and realizes that she has to confront it. So she's basically reads his god-awful poem.
Uh-huh.
The first time she tries, her eyes are so blurred with tears she can't make out the words.
Oh.
We should share the poem because it's so terrible. Can you read it, please?
Oh, God. Okay.
Go on. I had to read his other ones.
Yeah, fair. But this one's so much longer. So it's
Speed through it.
It's titled Goodbye Poem.
Oh, God.
To say we touched, to say you taught me, to say I saw things new, to say I love you. None of these is enough, my friend. For your world with all its light and hope couldn't prepare me for this sorrow, this saying goodbye. This is just so nothing.
Oh.
Tell me it won't matter. Promise me wherever I am, you will be with me. In the place where goodbye doesn't matter, where forever is just an instant and our love, a bridge, connecting, linking, making all things one. She is devastated by this poem. And it's so bad.
Well, she knows she'll never forget him, not as long as she lived. You will, Liz.
Good
you
one.
will. So a few days later, they're in work, and Darcy's like, "Oh, I can't believe it was only Monday that all happened." But Liz feels that no time at all has elapsed since Michael left, and Darcy's like, "Wonder where they are now." And even Jessica's like, "That's not very sensitive,"
Yeah, let it go.
But Elizabeth is stoic and just, I hope they're far away from people like that awful man in the grey suit. And then Darcy's like, "Yeah, so what are you going to do about Jeffrey? Are you going to tell him about what happened?" And Liz's like, "That's a personal question, don't you think?" she says calmly. And Jessica listens with fascination.
Yeah, because she's been dying to ask, basically, but was too afraid to bring it up because it just seemed like, it's obviously too sensitive a subject. But Darcy's just like, "No, I just wondered. You don't have to get upset, Liz."
No. And then we just have an incredibly nothingy ending because we're just told she knew that her and Jeffrey were going to have a long talk, and she's going to have to figure out what
she is never mentioning this to Jeffrey.
No! Oh my God.
No way.
So it's just like, she can't think about it now. It's all too recent. The pain of parting is too fresh, and she's just going to have to remember what the Ryans taught her about courage. And that meant believing they'd be safe and that Michael was thinking about her with incredible fondness. Mm-hmm. That's what you call it these days. Mm-hmm. That with which she is thinking about him. And then Jessica thinks, God, it's bad what incredibly bizarre, violent things have happened this summer.
Yeah, first there was like, whatever happened in Double Jeopardy, and then all this nonsense. And she's like, kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen next, doesn't it? And I'm trying to think, what is the next thing in this book? Is it like Mad Bomber season?
Oh, I hope so.
There's so much bullshit to come this season. That this is not even the start of it, really. But yeah, Darcy's like, well, I already know what's going to happen next. We're going to get a bunch of new tedious assignments from Dan and Seth.
Oh, kids, you ain't seen nothing yet. And that is the end of On the Run. Now, not the best thriller, apart from the moment that kid starts choking. It is amazing.
This is the thing. Like, it really does plod along. Like, I was still having fun reading it because it was nice to be in some classic golden age Sweet Valley for a while, and seeing Stephen knock around. It's like, yeah, lovely. This is all very silly. But then suddenly, like, when Eric is fucking dragging Liz down an alley, a kid is choking, Dr. Hankeman to the rescue. Kind of from that point, it just spiraled like crazy.
I can't believe the extent to which it did.
So fun.
Well, do we have any outfits? Oh, I know we do.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. Okay, Jessica. Wow, her office wear is truly something. So, yeah, not even the subdued newsroom could tame Jessica's fashion sense, because that morning she had livened up her slim-cut cotton dress with a row of brand new brooches.
What?
And had tied her hair back in a magenta ribbon. Like, okay, that's fine, but I'm sorry, a row of brooches?
What?
Like some kind of general or something that she just has loads of things pinned to her dress. I don't know what that's meant to look like.
It's amazing. If anybody can find an example of this, please show us.
Honestly, because sometimes these things are mentioned and we're just like, that sounds bananas, and then it turns out to be an actual reference to something. But I really struggle to picture how she's working or like making this work, in that it's like a dress with tons of brooches on it, apparently, in a row, without looking like some kind of deranged person pretending to be a general in the army. These are my medals from army. I don't know. Okay, otherwise we have Eric.
Lucille Bluth, by the way, is Jessica in like 50 years.
Oh, 1000%. Like, yeah. I mean,
maybe Lila,
but honestly, even in the TV show, Jessica has a line about a potato costing $10 or something, which is almost exactly a Lucille Bluth quote.
This is true. Okay.
It all checks out. Yeah. We have Eric. He beats Liz for one of their dates that she doesn't think is a date. His hair is neatly combed. He's wearing a pair of faded jeans and a white cotton shirt that shows off his tan. And honestly, I was just kind of relieved he wasn't wearing like khakis or chinos.
Yeah.
Actually wearing jeans. That sounds nice.
Yeah. I mean, bit boring with the white shirt. But...
Oh, sure, 100%. But look, you can't win them all.
Well, true.
At least he's not dressed like a golfer, you know.
Oh, well.
Take the wins where you can.
Don't worry, someone is.
Yes, so we meet Andy Sullivan, who really did nothing, this college intern. He was wearing a navy blazer and khakis, looking the perfect picture of a college student ready for a summer job. But yeah, he was such a nothing character in the end. He didn't have more than like 2 lines. So like, what was the point of him?
Also, his like working for a newspaper in your fucking khakis and blazer. Like journalists, even in the 80s, were not sort of dressed formally. He does sound, as I did say recently doing a 30 Rock rewatch, he does sound like he's dressed like Kenneth.
Oh, he does. He's dressed like an NBC page. Yeah, 100%. Darcy is pivoting to show Jessica the green knit dress she bought on the way home from work. And Darcy's a redhead, so like a green dress on a redhead is always
it's
a
classic
knockout look. Yeah. Gorgeous. And yeah, she's worried she looks voluptuous because Darcy is beautiful. Like yes. That is the thing. And like, yeah, red hair, green dress, can't lose, like stunning. Then Eric turns up at the Wakefield house looking anything but a psychopath. He's wearing grey cotton pants and a faded polo shirt. So again, his clothes are quite boring, but you know.
Polo shirt, come on.
Yeah, I know. And then, Jessica, when she's wearing Liz drag.
Oh, yeah.
She reckons this wardrobe is just right for Liz on a Saturday afternoon. Tan chinos.
Hey!
A cotton polo shirt and a cotton sweater tied loosely around her neck.
Come on.
He sounds like such a cunt. And very importantly, not cunty, just
no. There's an amazing bit where Jessica is like her palms are all sweaty and she wipes them on the chinos.
That's so funny. Like she had to put her hair is in a ponytail as well to pull off the Liz look. She had to take off her nail polish and she has to borrow Darcy's watch as well because it's well established that Liz wears a watch. So this is how she manages to mostly trick Eric, even though he's like, "What's wrong with you? You seem really weird." But the look is right. It was just everything else about her wasn't quite working. So we did get a couple of outfits on the go there in On the Run, which was tremendous fun.
We did. And did we have any stats?
We did have stats. Okay. Now, the blondness only got 4 mentions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, felt kind of low. The blue-green eyes only got 3. Not a great showing. Not a great showing for the Wakefields.
Disappointing
in this one, particularly because Darcy's red hair got 7 mentions.
Jesus, okay, right? Wow.
Yeah, they keep calling her the redhead. You see?
Okay.
People blush or flush or generally turn red for one reason or another 14 times.
What? Sorry, I nearly spat water out there.
Yeah, no, and that is mostly just like Liz and Eric blushing at each other.
Oh, okay.
Because again, Eric, he is described as being shy or bashful or embarrassed, some or other combination of these words 12 times.
Jesus!
Yeah, like to the point that it was actually annoying. I was just like, well, just stand up, for God's sake. And then importantly, again with Eric, a shadow crosses his face no less than 5 times, which is a lot when you're using that exact turn of phrase every fucking time. Which is why I was like, he's a goddamn murderer. And if he's not now, he will be soon. It's just a matter of time.
Wow.
And then the final one that I had to include was poor Jessica. She shivers or shudders 9 times in this book, which also felt like a lot. And that was basically just any time she thought about Eric or any time Darcy was filling her in on Sue's latest dispatch from Cleveland. So poor Jess was an absolute wreck for this book, basically.
Wow. Well, I mean, there was more, when you put it like that, there's more drama than it felt like when I was reading it.
Right. And to be fair, I feel like a lot of that was in that kind of final quarter of the book, really, because that's where all the madness suddenly descended and erupted.
Do you know what? The boring bits were worth it for that. For Beckwith's rampage.
Oh my God. Just insane carry on from Beckwith. Like, what was he doing? Just announcing to this room. Like, fucking hell, dude, go home. After
he'd already like badgered and pestered poor old Dr. Ryan.
Leave this man alone. Like,
he suffered enough.
He really has.
Well, listeners, what did you think of On the Run? Did you enjoy returning to the classic Sweet Valley era? Did you spot the twist?
It's okay if you didn't. I didn't for ages. It's actually embarrassing now that I'm saying it out loud all these times.
Have you ever carried out an emergency?
Tracheotomy. Tell us your tracheotomy story.
Seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if one of you had. Like the things that you lot have lived through, drinking bleach.
Look at. Oh my God. Speaking of, we got some tremendous emails in the last while that we absolutely have to mention. So I'm going to just fly through these because they were fucking great. So we got a brilliant one from Marion, who said that apparently Jessica is Gwyneth Paltrow. So this is Not That Kind of MD on Instagram, said that she's reading Amy Odell's biography of Gwyneth Paltrow, which I have heard about. But apparently
I've been meaning to read it.
It sounds fucking great. And apparently the similarities to Jessica are astounding. So this is all stuff Gwyneth Paltrow has done. Dated a surfer. He did not die tragically.
Okay.
Did not take school seriously and skipped class so much she almost didn't graduate.
No. Could have had a fake trial, Gwyneth.
Like, this is the thing. She disdained fat people, which...
that's Jessica.
Someone described her household as revolving entirely around her.
Mm-hmm.
You could be cruel and mean and would either feign ignorance at the hurt she caused or just wouldn't care.
Also.
Everyone indulged her.
Yep.
Everyone expected that she would become famous and get whatever she wanted, and often did. Honestly, uncanny. I'm now picturing Jessica starting a wellness company called Wake.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that absolutely nail on the head?
Oh, perfection.
It's so good. We also got a great email from Fury Girl, who was just telling us about a friend of hers from Florida who basically dresses like she's from Sweet Valley. And apparently this look can actually be classified as Southern prep. And she sent us on a link that goes into great detail about like the versions of these styles, where it's like Northern prep versus Southern prep. And I'm going to put it up on Instagram because I feel like anyone who's into like sartorial stuff or fashion would actually find this really interesting. Yeah. So that was also fantastic. And she just had loads of great detail about like sororities and how you basically couldn't go out in your letters without your hair and makeup done. Like it's all very strict in certain Southern colleges, it seems. But yeah, that was just really, really interesting. April Atwood sent us a gorgeous email just about how much she enjoys the show. So thank you, April. Loved that.
Thank you.
Now, okay, we got an email from a Gwyneth, but a different Gwyneth. Yeah. Who suspects that she went to Sweet Valley High. Because, have you read this email? Because the list of things that happened in her high school are...
Oh my God, I've got it now.
Incredible.
I have just been finishing a book, which seems to be taking forever to finish. Writing, not reading. So
no, I know, yeah.
So I am behind on everything, including our admin here.
But that's okay. This email was amazing. So Gwyneth has recently gotten a job, so congrats on that.
Congratulations.
And yeah, has been amusing herself by thinking about how people never believe the things that happened to her and her classmates and how they're perfect candidates for SVH. So reasons she suspects she went to Sweet Valley High. Over 12 years at a private school, but let's be honest, SVH is basically a private school with all the rich kids.
True.
And the twins' junior year has lasted longer than 12 years, which, yes, absolutely accurate. Pilot landed in one of our athletic fields, and despite us being in the middle of Dallas, our school put him up for the night. She went to school with the Bush twins.
Oh.
Okay, her school took a trip to Washington, D.C. in 6th grade, so they're all about 12 years old. Jenna Bush was in my group. My mom was the chaperone. Jenna led us up an elevator in Congress that was classified. We were held at gunpoint by the Secret Service while my mom talked us out of it. Like, her teachers got them lost in Big Bend Desert for over 6 hours. The trek was supposed to take less than 2 hours. The poor gas station we first discovered when we wandered out, 88 girls descended on this gas station after being lost for 6 hours in the desert.
Jesus Christ.
They sold out of ice cream, not water. We were kids in 5 minutes. Like, it's basically the Death Valley storyline. Wild. There was a bomb threat that caused the entire evacuation of the school, which was followed by a Texas thunderstorm, but they wouldn't let them back into the school, so they had to shelter by the cars in the car park. Like, there's so many more things, but I've been talking for ages.
I'm reading them now. This is incredible because this episode has run very long because it is a full book that's almost as long as the other ones. So we're going to have to wind it up soon, but good sweet Jesus.
Right.
She does also list the reasons she might be a Wakefield twin. Mm-hmm. She says, 1, I am blonde and I tan. My eyes are the murky green brown of a cow pond. Glows it up.
Her best friend was being trained by her parents to be a tennis pro. They moved her to Florida to go to a special tennis school, and I was devastated. Oh, but like Tennis Girl, like these are all books from this series.
She says, I dated a 19-year-old when I was 15 and thought this was because I was so mature and amazing. Yeah, no, he was just really immature.
Yeah.
He drove a Jeep. No, that's so. My parents accidentally abandoned me in London when I was 16, though this is slightly more drastic when you live in Dallas, Texas, rather than Dublin, Ireland. Alas, no werewolves were involved.
Oh my God. Like, despite being adopted, I have not encountered my evil twin yet. There's still time.
Oh, fingers crossed. Also, I do love this. I was sent to the principal for lying and saying I was adopted, despite looking like my mother. Then I was sent to the school counsellor because there must be some trauma at home for me to lie. I am adopted. Oh, she visited her brother in college for a week.
Yeah, Gwyneth, I'm like, where did you come from? You are from Sweet Valley. This Dallas stuff is a lie, clearly. You are from the imagination of Francine Pascal, and I will hear no other takes on it.
She said she didn't cheat on her boyfriend, but she did make eyes at a guy and he puked. Then he puked in a water fountain. Oh, there were 3 fights at the old boys' school where my name came into play.
Okay, Jessica.
Oh. Oh my God. When I eventually met the disciplinarian in my senior year, I was reporting a guy who bit me. Good God. I think he was very surprised that I was the girl he turned about. Flattering.
All of the above is just high school. Imagine how my 4 years of college were. I'm afraid we're going to have to insist that we get the SVU years from you.
I can tell you that my school, like nothing exciting happened in my school. It was an all-girls school. It was fine. I'm still really good friends with my best friends from it. I had a good time in school, but like no drama. Minus drama.
Pilot's Landing in the I couldn't believe it as the list kept going. Like incredible work. Thank you so much, everybody, for your emails. They're all fucking great. But yeah, that one really, I think, just knocked my socks off.
Oh, just incredible. Seriously, thank you so much for getting in touch with us. We really, really appreciate it. And we do love hearing from you, even if I don't always see them in time, because I have lost my damn mind. I mean, I say lost. I say lost. Like, well, I think it's been gone for quite some time now.
It remains missing.
It's only going to get worse, listeners. Just tell you that much. It's probably for the best that we are away next week.
Oh, that's true. I'm running away on holidays. So sorry, everybody. I'm afraid we won't have a Caitlin for you next week.
We will not. But we will be back. Now, do we have any time to go through? We don't really have time to go through the usual listener comments now because it is pushing up to like 2 and 3/4
hours. Jesus. Oh, but look, rest assured, we do read all your Instagram
Oh my God, yes.
And we love them because they're all absolutely hilarious. So thank you so much.
They're amazing. And we're loving the tagging yourself in both general and in now book title form.
Oh my God.
That's a great addition to the
I'm
mix.
just loving the evolution of tag yourself. Like
yes.
It's just, and it's always good.
A life of its own now.
So delightful.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this super thriller. I mean, how super was it? The end of it was definitely super.
Well, yeah, it definitely paid off in the end. But you know, they made us work for it.
They certainly did. And do let us know what you thought. You know where we are. We are on social media pretty much everywhere at SVH Podcast.
That's true. And you can send us an email. The more unhinged, the better at svhpodcast@gmail.com.
Well, we won't see our Pi Beta Alpha siblings in the clubhouse next week because Karen will be roaming the world. And I sadly will be trying to finally finish final first draft of my book. Final first draft. That's what stage we're at now.
You've got this.
Oh, God. Do I? We'll find out. So we won't see you in the clubhouse next week, but we will see you all back here in the main feed in 2 weeks' time when Elizabeth and Jessica put some bass in their walk.
Ooh.
As they become cover girls.
Nice.
See you then, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
And what?
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.